concert, I just walked up and kicked that lead singer off and took over.
I fixed it, Cyberwolf.
And that's how we became not Doug.
Yep. Can you repeat that story again? Because I forgot to turn on your guys' audio because I'm a tired boy.
So I may have screwed up again, guys.
Typical Bone Daddy.
That's fine. That's fine. We could just roll this one into the intro.
Yes, go for it.
All right. So, hello everyone. I'm PB. I'm GMing today, and also this is my game. I made band battles. I don't remember why. I just decided, hey, wouldn't it be cool? And here we are. So this game is very improv heavy. There is rolling dice just to decide what happens in certain situations. And aside from that, it's just a whole lot of fun. We've played this game before, only once with this group. They play tested it, and now they're doing it for me again for charity. For the kids.
Yeah.
So band battles is basically a game in which you are a band that has worked its way to the top and is trying to become the best damn band in the world. So you are in the final top five situation. You are there. This is going to be the deciding night of who becomes crowned as the best band in the world, because you are not going to be satisfied with anything but number one. So because you're not going to be satisfied with anything but number one, you are going to do your damnness to get there. Whether you have to do some nefarious things to do so, or you stay straight-laced until you get to the top. You cannot expect other bands to be straight-laced, though, so you have to fight off other bands. Not literally, but maybe theoretically. And you have to work together to become the absolute best. There are opportunities to perform here, not like literally perform. You don't have to sing a song or anything, but there are opportunities where you can like have duel offs in the middle of the band lot. You can have solos and duets on the main stage. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. And since we had such a blast the first time, we are bringing the band back together. We are 10 years in the future from our first play test, which is not anywhere for you to watch because no one recorded it. RIP that session. And who would have known it was going to be so much fun? I was expecting a total and absolute train wreck, and it turned out to be way the opposite of that. So
this is like 4 hours of straight laughter.
It was a train wreck. Let's not lie.
So we are 10 years in the future, 10 years in the past. We saw Doug win the world championship with Bone Daddy, our bassist, Reginald Von Dog Waffler as our lead vocalist, and Tigray as our guitarist. Now, 10 years in the future, we are here. Now, let me move my mic a little closer to myself, and then we will get to the beginning of this game. So, everyone has already rolled their characters. We already have all their stats up. And they will tell you a little bit more about that as we enter the game. So we enter the scene with you guys on a van, just, bumpily making your way to this arena, which is going to be in this huge new stadium they built, especially for this. They started 5 years ago. It's finally done. It was ready for the 10-year anniversary. It's an indoor stadium. Think of the biggest indoor stadium you've ever seen, and then multiply that by 2. It are like just so much. There are speakers all over the place. This is the most expensive thing ever, really, and a place they've ever made. But it's going to be absolutely packed. You can already hear the rumblings of the crowd outside, and you're about a mile off. So when you get there, it's going to be insane. Honestly, you don't know if the rumbling in the van is either you going over a bunch of potholes or just the rumbling of the crowd just reverberating onto the car the closer you get. And you're sitting there looking out, and intermixed with seeing the camera come into view and looking at you guys through the van or into the van, we're also hearing a documentary news series overlaying it. And we hear Janet with Channel 4 News. You're like, we are entering the new World Championship Band Competition. It's 10-year anniversary, Bob. Bob. Yes, this is a very, very huge event. Probably the biggest the world has ever seen. And to decide the best band ever. So, what bands do we have today? Well, we have several bands, but really I think what everyone wants to hear about is Doug. Doug, the notorious band from 10 years ago who won the first annual world competition with their amazing rendition of The Circle of Life into Toto's Africa. For you guys, that's not what their game is called, but that's what it sounded like. As with their jazz fusion band, they were at the peak of their careers. But that wasn't where it ended. You would think that's what they would be the most famous for, but really, it's what happened afterwards. Well, let's see what's actually happened with Doug. And it zooms in on you, Bone Daddy, in the van. And then we go in to see a clips of you after not Doug. So what's happened to you since you were on the stage giving away your cultist talk?
Okay, so I would like to say that when the camera zooms in on me, I'm probably like eating a piece of fruit, and right as I'm about to bite into it, we hit another bump and it just kind of falls out of my hand, and I'm not able to actually like bite onto it at all. What has happened since I was in the band is that I ended up getting a large cult following, but like more on the cultish side than the actual like, we're just really big fans. Like I had a small cult for a while. There was definitely a deposition against me made in just like taking people's money and then not really delivering on it, because I would just kind of give the same canned responses of just like, everything happens for a reason, man. You just got to believe that the great wheel will circle itself out. And that was good enough for a lot of people, but there was like one or two people that saw through my bullshit. Actually, I'm going to say, contrary to what I had said before the stream started, which is the reason why my groupie left me. She was an undercover FBI agent that was there to bust me for my cult activity. So the one person I got close to ended up betraying me the most, but such is life, I would suppose. So then as a result, I ended up having to give all of the money back that I had taken, as well as pay some settlements, which resulted in me losing out on all of the money and royalties that I had made from the Not Doug competition. That we had won 10 years ago. And for the last 7 years, I have just been working at a used car dealership, really, really trying to make ends meet and not doing a very great job. I realistically have just had enough money to pay for my corpse paint and a bunch of ramen. And like, that's it. Cause like corpse paint, that's the key. And really, it's not been great, and it's only been up until Reggie said that we were getting the band back together that I was like, okay, that's what's happening. Like, we can make this work. The wheel's gonna sort itself out. It just keeps turning. We can make this happen. And so I am still like going to kind of like try and subversely convince people to join in a cult once again. But I'm going to make it seem more legitimate this time around, like a non-profit or something.
And do you still look the same? Have you changed your look at all since?
I would say that whereas before I had the top hat and like the really long coat, I'm going to say that it looks the same, but like more of like the hoboized version where like the hat is like slightly crooked. It doesn't sit as well. The jacket that I had on where it was like a nice finished black before definitely has a lot of grays, and you can see that there are holes where moths have kind of like eaten through it, which really just adds to my aesthetic of wearing corpse mask. Where like I look much more dead. I look as dead outside as I do on the inside now. Is how I would describe it.
Oh, and so we see you, and we come back out, and we see you like picking up after stuff. I'm like, oh man, not again. Oh man, we're not gonna get the return on this rental car.
With my luck, the apple probably like fell out of my hand, hit the ground, and sometimes on like really old rusted out cars, there's just like that hole to the outside world. Like apple probably fell into that and just out of the car.
Man.
Just what do you do?
So keep on rolling, man. Keep on rolling.
Keep going. Keep it rolling.
And we come out of that, and we hear and Janet come back and say, well, it's been an interesting story for Bone Daddy, who we've seen a lot of, and it's just a smattering of paparazzi photos of you working as a used salesman. As a used salesman, after his tryst into, what was that religion again called? And Bob's like, maybe that's better left in the past. And we move on. Well, next, we have a lot of people's favorites. We have Reginald von Dogwaffler, who we saw have a very interesting exit, even at the top of their career, when they won the first world championship. Yes, and even from there, we've had Reginald's had a very interesting life since then. And then the camera shifts onto you, Barry or Reginald, and then we see it zooms in on you, and then we fade into a supercut of what's been happening with your life. So what has happened with Reginald von Dogwaffler?
So I'm pretty certain, I think it was in The Simpsons when they had the B sharps or something, where Barney had the addiction to Fabergé eggs.
Oh yeah,
that's Reginald. And he's been recorded a lot just screaming at animals, demanding better water and more respect. And he's just gone nuts. Because everyone's kind of just left him, and he's just... Well, they didn't leave him. He left them because they weren't showing him as much respect as he thought he demanded. And then pretty soon the next favourite band to win this one would have said something about, like, Doug wouldn't have stood a chance. And it was like the last time he wanted to hear the band called Doug, because they're not Doug. It's not their name. And that's what's drived him to get the band back together, to show everyone that he is better than everyone else.
And
no matter what the cats and dogs say in the neighborhood.
And we see the supercut of just like not even like paparazzi cameras or anything like that, but like an unsteady mobile like video of you just like no audio, just you yelling down at some pigeons down in downtown, like, where is my, and you just see
where's my water? You call that the whole preparing? What? How is this lighting? What is?
And you just dropping and stalking off, dropping whatever.
Roll out a tune. This is hot.
And we see photos of you in different places, just really just yelling at everyone and just being escorted out by security in places. And then Bob cuts in and like, well, yes, Reginald has had a very interesting life now, has he? Let's see if his temper has simmered down any more since that.
I also like to picture ugly drunk crying over Mr. Whiskers.
Oh yeah, there was a
ugly drunk crying.
There are a couple of photos there of you yelling at a pigeon, and then the next snapshot of you just like breaking down, falling down on that building, and just taking out your brown paper bag and just drinking out of it, just sobbing. And has Reginald's look changed anything at all as we zoom back in on you in the van?
Let's see. I'm also trying to remember what he looked like beforehand.
You were very like Brit glam rock is what you look like.
Oh, that's right. I was like the full bushy hair, like fancy outfit.
You were wearing platform boots to give you that additional height.
Oh yeah, the extra bit of height. Now I look like the lead singer of Red Hot Chili Peppers, Anthony Kiedis, is that how you pronounce his last name? Does in Dark Necessity. So shirtless, the weird hat, just a normal hat painted kind of with like fluorescent paint on it, and like the weird goggles, the dirty mo, a couple of tattoos like Mr. Whiskers and the love heart on his chest. R.I.P. Whiskers. And probably just every name Doug's had just somewhere tattooed on his body, from school is just a system brought in by the man, or the final one of Tim, you're fired, you're not getting any of the money because we never signed an actual contract when Not Doug wins this tournament. And he's just here to win.
So we just see your game face on as we zoom out from you in the band, and we hear Janet come back and say, yes, Reginald didn't have a very interesting path. Miraculous that he's made it all the way back here. It's a real RDJ, Robert Downey Jr. type of change in the last 10 years. And Bob's like, yeah, that sounds, that's actually a really apt description. Let's see if this time he stays on stage after they win. So who do we have next? Oh yeah, the social media starlight himself. We see the cameras zoom in on you, Tigray. Yes, he very accomplished before and even after Doug. Let's see what he's been up to. And we zoom in on you, Tigray, and we see, what have you been doing since Doug's won?
As it zooms in, he's got the biggest cell phone you could possibly have, and his thumbs are just...
That new Samsung like tablet foldable.
Yeah, exactly. And he's just typing away. After Eagle Wings of Fire and Tim, you're fired, and Doug kind of the band broke up. Tigray was not really affected much at all. He went on to play with like world-renowned orchestras and whatnot, because he was always like the real musician of the group. But after a short stint traveling the world doing that, he started to create. He just kind of snapped with him. Technology, that's where things are going. That's how the future is going to be. So he completely became a producer for EDM music, and it was all electronica type stuff. And I guess the way that Reginald and Bone Daddy got Tigray to be back in the band was by planting subliminal suggestions and whatnot, playing on poor Brett's superstition. So like everywhere he went for like a week, these things kept happening where he would see Doug, or something about, like I said, Eagle Wings of Fire, or about the school is just a system type stuff. All the band names and stuff started coming up, and then they arranged to have just a run-in suddenly. So Reginald came around the corner and literally walked into Tigray, and they're both little people, and they bumped into each other, and Tigray was like, I can't not join the band, his OCD and everything just came crashing back in. He knows it's a horrible idea. It is the worst thing that he could possibly do, but he can't not come back. So he's in.
And I like to think that Tigray's so forgettable that Reginald still isn't sure you were a member. It's Bone Daddy saying, he is. I'm like, are you sure this guy was in us? Because I don't remember him.
Look, if he wasn't in the band, we've been putting out commercials on public access to the wrong guy. I'm just saying.
We'll just go with it, but I'm sure this other pianist I saw playing is the guy.
And we see snapshots of you, and really it almost looks like more like a portfolio for you, Tigray. you standing there in tuxes at orchestras and just being the solo pianist for concertos and stuff like that, guest pianist all over the world, world renowned. It's almost like you struck out. You tried to make the world forget you were part of Doug and that you were a Doug world champion, despite the rest of the world thinking, like, being like, oh, your social media just like slammed with, when is Doug getting back together? Why aren't you and Doug anymore? What happened to Reginald? Why isn't he on social media anymore? Hey, can you give me Bone Daddy's number? He owes me a little bit of money.
All right, that's awesome. That's awesome. And yeah, and he never was the type, like, he always had to wear goofy hats or something just to kind of feel like part of the band, because the other guys were so much larger than life. So.
Oh man. And so we zoom out from you sitting there, like, ready, maybe fiddling with stuff, maybe fiddling with your pocket watch, opening and closing it just a couple of hundreds of times to try and get your morning ritual out of the way. And then it pops out and we hear Bob come in. Oh yes, T. Gray has been very, very successful after Doug. In fact, according to this report, I think he's made more money outside of Doug than he has in Doug. Odd that he would come back. He even had an entire solo tour planned for this year, in fact, to go all over the world as the top pianist. But, well, as Bone Daddy would say, you just have to go with the wheel. Isn't that right, Janet? That's right, Bob. And then, that is the Doug we all grew to know and love and listen to on the radio with their jazz fusion-y goodness. But they're coming back with a twist this time. They're coming back with a fourth member. And the camera pans over to you, Mr. Snow, and it zooms in on you. And not much is known about Mr. Snow, but this is what we were able to scrounge up. And so it zooms in on you. And who is Mr. Snow, RJ, and how did you meet these guys?
So it zooms in on a picture of Mr. Snow in like a hoodie, jeans, and like some beat up sneakers.
Yeah, to check something real quick.
Mother.
Ah.
Yeah. And he's just like staring.
I will take this time to explain to everybody what we're doing here for Extra Life. So, Extra Life is a charity that I got started on doing about 4 years ago now, and during that time, we've helped raise a bunch of money to help sick kids. Every year, people raise thousands and thousands of dollars to help sick kids, and so that is what we are doing here at Extra Life. One of the things that we're doing on this channel specifically is that we are understanding of our friends and viewers who may be in financial hard times but also want to help support the kids. So what we are doing is that if you follow the channel, it'll appear in a tracker that I have, and then we will donate money equal to the number of people that end up following the channel during this time. So if you want to help out but you don't have the finances to do so, let us take on that burden for you. That is my spiel. And we also do hourly giveaways for Steam keys for people who are active in chat. Just a good time. So that was my spiel. Back to the actual game.
Where was I? Yeah. It probably takes like a bunch of paparazzi flash photos of Reginald walking up the stairs of the subway, turns, sees like this guy just like pecking at the keyboard. He's like, you play with us now, stink eye. And he's like, oh, okay.
See, this guy was the guy which was with us 10 years ago. I'm quite certain of it.
I honestly do not know any of you.
No. You were with us 10 years ago.
Listen, all I know is that's Bone Daddy because my brother was in his cult.
Sounds just like the guy which was with us, I swear.
He literally like mortgaged his house trying to pay for all of this bullshit.
Well, if it helps, he wasn't the only one who went bankrupt, brother.
His voice is amazing.
And the fact that T Gray's voice was nothing like that. It's the best part. Oh,
What a good game.
You're that forgettable.
Rip. And it's like, and it's just like this shitty footage of the entire interaction between you and the rest of the band, Mr. Snow, of you like there at like the subway, just like plucking away at your piano. Reginald just coming up to you, a fan being like, "Oh my god, it's them," and just like starting a picture and just like caught the entire thing. You can't even hear what's happening, and it's just like because there's just like a train that just went by, so it's just like, and just Reginald just being like, and you've been like, and Bo, then it'd be like.
I'm pretty certain Bone Daddy pointed out that Tigre used to play a guitar, not a piano. Like, let's just fine. We'll just take both of them and we'll just deal with it.
So I was more thinking we end up getting the both of them and have them stand next to each other, and it's Bone Daddy and Reggie just like have to like have a little aside conversation. Like, which one was it? Like, I honestly don't remember.
That one has a guitar. I'm pretty certain it was this guy over here. His voice sounds familiar.
Mr. Snow, you're like a normal size person, right? Yeah, I'm like a teeny person, like Reginald.
It's both of us. Just I honestly can't tell the difference.
What special skills do you have? So I swear one of them was good at something.
I remember one of them was clumsy.
Because that was not me. I am not clumsy. I am 100% perfect with everything I do.
and I actually, Tigray has actually drawn up like a Wikipedia page on his phone of the band, and he's like, "It was you, Bone Daddy."
I thought you were accident prone.
I am accident prone.
Well, we'll just take both of them. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Like, they can split the third of a share between them because they're both the keyboard. So we'll just a third each, and they can split a third between each other.
Checks out.
Hey, maybe they will join your cult, and you'll get their third.
No, it's not a cult. It's a way of life, man. It's
Outback.
Yeah.
We're a
Whatever,
non-profit now, man. We're a non-profit.
Look, we're a non-profit.
But if you ever write Doug down on that form again,
No, look, I've gone through the legal name change process. My name is Bone Daddy now. There's
we
no
start getting
reason-
called Bone Daddy. I'm not. We are clearly the scrawny, wide-eyed penguins. Okay.
Whatever works, boss.
Scrawny, wide-eyed penguins, because I don't even know the name of the band, which said we weren't good, but fuck them.
You mean like all the bands? They always say you guys aren't that good.
Well, you know what?
He's definitely our third member. That's exactly what he would have said.
Look, we're just looking.
He never believed in us.
I think it's important if we have somebody who can internally critique our music before we push it live. I think that'll be
Are
important.
you related to Tim?
Who?
Tim.
Don't worry
He
about
never
it.
finds a good water. We need a manager.
We
Christy, Katie, Sarah, I don't know her name. She left me because the cats just aren't good enough.
we zoom out of the scene, and we hear Jen and Bob. It's like, well, that's what we have today. But there is one more thing, actually. Now that I think about it, weren't Doug in a huge lawsuit battle a few years back? Yes, there was a problem. And we go to a scene of video outside of a courthouse with Reginald just like being held back by Bone Daddy as we see Tim leave the courthouse in like a very nice suit, like very happy for himself. And it's like, yes, there was a lawsuit battle, turns out that Not Doug fired Tim right before they won a lot of money, and it turns out that's not extremely legal. And so Tim was able to win the lawsuit of not only getting paid his due, but also reparations for his grief and suffering for the 3 years where he did not receive that money and was blacklisted from the Manager Society for bands.
As a
Grief
player,
and suffering.
as a player, he probably could have totally slapped on defamation because we made our band name "Fuck You, Tim." We're not paying you any money.
I'll show you grief and suffering. What about the pathetic second-rate water I kept getting, Tim?
Just let it go, man. Just let it go. We can get you better water.
Just a whole thing. And with that, Janet and Bob are like, yes, it has been a rocky roller coaster for Doug since their inception to their end. But here we are with the reunion, and we'll see how they do now. And we're the boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo as the scene ends on TV, and then we zoom into who's driving your shitty ass car that keeps like, you know, doing that jerky thing of like, this is definitely going to break down any second now. We zoom in on this guy sitting there, very like small, like he's not a small person, he just makes himself smaller than normal. And he's just driving along. You're pretty sure you've missed your exit about 2 or 3 times if it weren't for your GPS just yelling like, you have missed the exit. Turn around in 100 feet. Turn around in 300 feet. This is
it's Tigray's phone. That's
yeah. And it's just like, if it weren't for that, you know, times are hard. You've had to play a lot. You were given a shoe-in you qualified for the competition, but you still had to work up past 20. And that's a lot of money for you guys when one of you was a salesman barely getting by. One of you who pretty much drank your winnings away. Someone you found next to the train, and Tigray, you're really like keeping it low key. Like you're keeping yourself comfortable, but you're like, I don't really want to invest on this. Well, just like we'll see how it happens. I'll pay the manager, but like, you know, we don't need the best, right? I mean, we fired the last one immediately, so I'm sure you don't need them. We'll win. It's fine. And so you just got the manager really at the bottom of the list with the cheapest cost. And Billy here is not the best or the brightest, but you know, you try and keep him in line. And you really likes him, Tigray and Bone Daddy, because anytime Reginald yelled at him, he would do the thing, and he wouldn't really notice that he got insulted. He really wouldn't notice that Reginald was calling him certain names or anything like that. He was just like, all right, boss, I got you. And it's just like complete and total, just like blinders, like on a horse, like just moved on, didn't hear anything. And would just like really smile and nod at Reginald as he was talking, because you're not really 100% sure he understands the English language very well. Not that he knows any other language. You just don't think that that's like just a language he really grasps all the way yet. So he's driving. You've missed your exit about 5 times on this 2-mile drive from your hotel to the venue. But you're finally getting there, and he's like, all right, guys, what do you guys want for breakfast? You guys are at the entrance of the venue getting shooed in by, like, you're at the booth of security. You're just sitting. It's like, all right, guys, what do you want for breakfast?
Pancakes.
I want 4 quail egg whites made into an omelette with fancy goat's cheese, like the mountain goats which climb up the mountain, nowhere near us, and a full pig.
just have some whole wheat toast and a green tea. That'd be fine.
Pancakes sound good.
Can I get pancakes, but like slices of banana on top? Like the more spheres you can fit onto this breakfast platter, the better I will feel about it.
And I want the pig cooked. A cooked pig. I don't want a raw pig. I want it cooked.
All right, okay, I got that. All right, and he turns to the security guard and he's like, all right, we'll have 2 pancakes, One of them with bananas on it. And fill it up as much as possible. We'll have a whole pig, some goat cheese, and the security guards just like, sir, can I get your pass here? There's a line forming in the back. And Billy stops for a second. He looks around. He's just like, wait a second, is this not McDonald's? Where are we?
Hey, they sell roast pig at McDonald's?
They do when I order.
And he's like, oh, right. And he just like is looking around every single pocket possible on his like t-shirt and jeans. And it's just like looking all over for the pass. And he's like, oh, wait. It's like, oh no, did I forget it? Did I leave it in the hotel? Oh no, not like this. And he's like, I'm still going to get fired. This is what happens to you every time, Billy. And he goes and then he looks under the seat and he's like, aha, here it is. He passes it to the security guard. Security guard just like very cautiously takes it, just like there's some unknown substance on it from being on the bottom of the car. And he just like,
It's a little bit of corpse paint on it.
yeah, a little bit of corpse. And it's just like, okay, you are good to go. Please go forward and take the second left, then a right, and you'll be at the lot you need to be at. All right. And you guys drive in, absolutely take the wrong left and then right, but you circle around. It's like an airport. Eventually you'll get back to it. And you stop and you are outside being led into this huge backstage area through the venue. You go through a few corridors, you enter one door, exit another door, and it's just crazy how huge this area is. You keep going, like you've been to a lot of venues, T. Gray, in your time as a Juilliard pianist, but you've never seen anything like this. You've seen pictures on social media, you all have, and this doesn't even touch how large this place actually is on the inside until you finally enter an area in which it's this huge open area, and it's probably the size of a very large, backstage lot where all of you can fit in. There's soundproofing all over the walls, so it's not an echoey mess. There is carpet on the ground allowing for the muffling of the sound, so it's not just like whoa, a cacophony of sound, which is hella expensive, and you do not know who spent the money on this, but somebody did. And then you're ushered back, and it's like you hear the backstage hand being like, all right, okay, who is this? And he talks to Billy, and it's like, we are oh man, Rachel, what was the name? What were we called again?
Scrawny
Bubble
white-eyed.
tornadoes.
He changes it again.
We're bubble tornadoes. You should keep up with our name, Billy, or else I will sack you faster than I sacked him, and you won't get any money from us. So I'm pretty certain I didn't sign a contract with you.
Reginald, you know that we're not legally allowed to mention Tim to people. We're under an NDA about that whole thing, right? We can't bring up the Tim thing.
I'm pretty certain that is Reginald, you're fired, so-and-so, rah, is under the NDA. Bubble Tornadoes signed nothing. So...
And as he said that and such, we zoom in on the phone of Tigray, and he's like updating the social media live, and he just stops, rolls his eyes, starts erasing, scrawny wide-eyed penguins, and starts typing bubble tornadoes.
So Billy turns around, he's like, yep, sure thing, boss. And gives you like some finger guns and turns around and it's like, okay, we are bubble tornadoes. And the band manager looks at the list, looks up at you, looks past Billy, and sees Bone Daddy, which I think is the most iconic of all of you guys. And it's like, all right, so not Doug. All right, sure. Come on in.
Whoa.
We'll be in the back lot. You're
See,
not even paying attention to you.
That's exactly
Walking-
what you asked for, man. That's full circle.
Better hold me
You
back,
said-
man. You better hold me back, because I'm gonna
it's-
smack him down. I'm gonna smack him down.
But after the show, after we win.
Just is like, all right, you guys will be in the back lot here. Just go straight down this hall, And you guys start walking there, and you see you're not as close to any of these bands as you were before. Not really. Not as much as you were last time, because last time you started from the bottom and you went all the way to the top. This time you only came in at the top 20. But you guys have enough history in the band world to have some emotional attachment or disattachment to some people. So in area 1, we have Toy Overdue, which are actually have been very nice to you and have provided, shoot you into certain restaurants so you guys can eat the nicer ones that you definitely cannot afford, and they've covered the bill for you guys. And you see your buddy Ranveer just be like, give you a like, hey, and as you guys pass by as he's working on stuff, you see on your left another band of which they were like super popular. They were the popular band coming into this. They are definitely the shoe-in for winning this. They're definitely the shoe-in to win this one. They've been touring all over the place the past 2 years. This is pretty much the height of their career, this competition. And that is Secular Esoteric is that band.
They're trying to steal my jam.
Don't worry, because I'm pretty certain our name just got changed to Esoteric Secular.
And then you guys keep on walking. You're rolling your big base in, and you're getting your stuff ready. And Billy has like one of those trolleys that you see in Harry Potter that they go through platform and the platform through, just full of just boxes of equipment that you guys are going to need. Mostly things that can definitely most likely explode if you touch them a little bit too much or knock them off. And they're all very precariously placed on there. And you don't feel terribly safe. So you're just, a little bit back from where Billy is. He's just very happily wheeling the way forward because you're not 100% sure he knows what's in there. As you keep on walking behind Toy Overdue, you see... Oh no, behind Secular Esoteric on your left, you see Lush Tension. Lush Tension, they're weird. You don't really like, you have Bone Daddy. You're a jazz fusion band. You guys have seen weird. You've been all over the world and stuff like that. Yeah, they're weirder than that. You don't really get a feel on them a lot, which I think freaks you out a little bit. It's like being in the Matrix where it's just all white. You don't really know what's up, what's down, what's the side. You don't really have any depth perception. And when you start talking to them, you start feeling like you're in that sort of room, and it feels very claustrophobic, and yet like you're in the middle of the sea at the same time. You don't really know what their deal is, but you just don't want to you try to avoid them as much as possible. They're weird. They talk to you weird. They use weird words, even weirder than Bone Daddy, and that's saying a lot. So yeah, try to just avoid them as much as possible. And over to your right, connected to your lot, you see Volcanic Vessel. Volcanic Vessel. They are the guys who've been talking so much trash since before they started even competing that they are going to have the most iconic performance ever, because what you know about this world competition is that it's sort of like American Idol in the way that Kelly Clarkson was super popular and actually made a career out of winning, and then everybody else has not been popular ever since winning. You were the height of your career. You were the most popular even after you guys broke up immediately after losing. So it has, the competition has been a little bit on the down and down. There's not been anybody big to come out of it since. But Volcanic Vessel has been claiming that they're going to be the next Doug who actually does something once they win.
Oh,
Who actually dug something?
Oh my God. They're actually going to be popular. And
Do you know who this Doug band is?
And so they've been talking a lot of smack about all of you guys. You guys know that Bone Daddy, Marwa, Britt, they have been talking a lot of smack. They, in fact, Marwa. You knew Marwa A little bit. In the whisperings of when your cult was dying, you heard whispers of a new one that was popping up. Was someone who didn't really teach about the circle, but they talked more about the like semi-sphere, about how sometimes there's an end, sometimes there's a beginning, but at the end of the day, sometimes it's just A to B, sometimes it's roundabout. And Marwa had started a counter cult to yours that has been much more popular and has yet to fail in these past 7 years. And you know that they are hoping that this will be their platform to talk, as they saw what you were able to do and what you were able not to do. So they think they can build off of what you did and make it better. So that is Marwa Brit. And then Tigray, Haven Berry. Haven Berry. Can you, like, even just hearing the name just annoys you, and you know there's a script up to immediately change any change that happens on their Wikipedia page, but you still go in and you still change it because Haven Berry, that little guy, just thinks he is the absolute best. He thinks he knows everything when you know he knows nothing. He's worse than Billy at times. You don't even think he knows he's here. He is just insufferable. In which you thought Sean was the worst person you've ever had to encounter intellectually. Now you've had 10 years of experience. You've been all over the world. You know for a fact that this guy, Haven Berry, is the absolute worst ever. You don't care what he says when he's jabbering on and on about facts this, facts that. Doesn't matter.
So,
you know better.
Yeah, so it's one of those, like, he changes a wiki page and it pops up and I'm immediately changing it back to correct him. All right, cool. It's an edit war.
Yep, an edit war, and you're on his and changing everything nonstop. All right, and then we move on to freaking Humza Nolan. You've only been in this band for a solid, like, month, Mr. Snow. But that's been long enough for these guys to start a campaign against why you don't deserve to be in this competition, because you weren't in the original Doug. You're just here for a money grab. And this person who's been really spearheading this on their social media and then putting out photos, very unflattering photos of you on the interwebs, on Instagram, and comparing it to their glam photos, has been Humza Nolan.
There's just been a picture of like Mr. Snow eating a taco, and then the other one's like making a duck face at the taco.
Jokes on them. Mr. Snow was always in the band.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, you were. God.
Look, they clearly don't understand.
Typical Snow, always saying he wasn't in the band.
Clearly, they don't understand the actual revenue stream that you get for winning one of these competitions. It dries up really fast.
Which was 0 because I was never in your band.
Yeah, that's what we'll keep
It's
telling
how
them.
fast it dried up. Same here. Mine's 0 as well.
Look, it'll do
Mr.
you
Wish
good.
just took it all.
I'm changing the wiki page. IQ of Reginald 72.
72, that's double digits. We've got that. I can count that high. It's amazing.
So what we know is that Humza Nolan has been trying, who has been one-upping you. Somehow Humza has been getting the information of your pyrotechnics show during the entire competition, and just one-upping what you were going to do every single time you have performed with this band on this stage. So you know something is up, and you are pretty sure, you know, like with the fiber of your being, that it is Humza is doing. Just somehow, some way, they are getting the information of what you were going to do and doing it better. And you're not here for that.
High chance it's Reginald telling him to gloating. Guess what we're going to do?
There's a good chance.
You're never going to beat us because we're doing this. Like losers.
Oh my gosh. And so that is Humza and Reginald. Khaled Fowler. Khaled Fowler is the reason you spearheaded this endeavor of making sure that you guys were back in this world competition. You heard them talking smack. They said they were better than you, and you're like, no, you're not better than Barking Terrier Bottom Shoe. What was the name of the band at that point in time in your head? Just what you saw on your walk there while you were drinking. And you know what? You were not here for it. This random person you heard in the coffee shop, they are Khaled Fowler. It is all their fault. And really, you should be thanking them. And you're going to thank them by beating them here today and beating them and telling them that, you know what? We are better. We are not Doug. Thank you very much. Stop calling us Doug. We are not Doug. We are XYZ, whatever it is on the day you're telling them that. And this is Khaled Fowler just stirring up some muck. And you guys have had, even as you're passing by, you guys are like looking at each other and like starting to stink eye, but like holding yourself for a while because you know there's new rules in the game. And so you move on to the band lot. And the band lot, much larger than it was the first time you competed, but also it might feel larger because you just don't have as much stuff as you did then. Back then you had a bus that came in, band bus. You guys had a trailer with the stuff on it. Now you guys have this trolley that Billy is pushing that's mostly full of gunpowder and pyrotechnics and the occasional guitar. And so as you enter in, Billy starts off unpacking boxes a little bit, just haphazardly, but it's only a few of them. And as you are here, you know that to your right, you have Volcanic Vessel, which are your rivals. And to your left, you have Lush Tension, which are the really weird guys that you're just like a little wigged out by. And to before we get super into the game, let's talk about rules real quick because they have changed since the first game. So we do have a dice pool in this game, but as to before, we had just an unlimited dice pool. Now you can only have 2 dice there at any time.
Each? Or as a group?
Each. Yeah, each.
Okay.
You can have 2 dice in there each. As to before, when you had your specialty, you could use it at any time. Now you can only use your specialty once per scene. So once per round, essentially, as every band round. All right, and your good attribute, bad attribute, you can use that once per this competition. Your good attribute and bad attribute, only once, unless it states that you have to do something when you first enter a place or you do something. Unless stated otherwise, it's only once. And instead of giving you a die every time you use it, we're now working on an advantage system. So anytime you use your specialty, you will have advantage on that roll, which just means re-roll and take the higher of the 2 rolls. Same deal with your attribute and same deal with your bad attribute. And whenever you roll, we still have the same chart and you still get the same dice. So if you roll a 10 to 11 on a nat roll, don't add anything to it, you get 1 extra die. If you roll a nat 12, you get 2 extra die. All right.
So it's a D12?
Not 2D.
A 2d6.
2d6.
2d6?
Yeah.
Okay. And so with, I think Reginald's good attribute was like lucky, like first time he does something.
Yep. So
Is that per scene or first time I do something different?
No, that's an attribute. So you only get that once per game.
Once per game.
Yeah. Attribute you get once per game. Specialty is 1 per scene.
Yeah, I just didn't know if his attribute was one of those ones which is like whenever you enter a zone, like Bone Daddy's accident prone.
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't sure if that was once per game or once per new thing.
No, it's mostly bad attributes that keep on going. There's a lot of opportunities for you to do well. So for those of you out there, it's a 2d6 system, so you roll 2d6. On a 2 to 4 roll, we call that an epic fail, and you get disadvantage on your next roll, or you lose a die. If you have a 5 to 6, you barely pass, If you get a 7 to 9, you pass. If you get a 10 to 11, it's a great pass and you get 1 extra die. If you get a 12, it's an epic pass and you get +2 extra die. So you have a lot of opportunity to pass, but so we need to make sure that when you fail, it's actually a big deal, you know? So with that, let's see. You guys have just entered the band lot. You guys know you have about 20-30 minutes to just mill around, get ready, get your stuff ready before you guys have to go up on stage, because once again you are going to be the last ones. It is a privilege you get of being the last finalists or the last winners 10 years ago. So you guys will go last. You know the order of people going up is going to be Toy Overdue will be going in the next 5 minutes. We'll have Secular Esoteric going 5 minutes after them, or like, you know, the next round after that, and Lush Tension, then Volcanic Vessel, and then you guys will be last. So you guys have just landed. In the scene, you can do really a couple of scenes with other, you can interact with other people outside of you guys. You can have one big moment or a couple of 2 small moments before you guys have to start a new scene.
Wait,
Okay.
so
you guys have just landed. You are here. What do you do?
So I just had a quick question. So Marwa, Britt, Hamza Nolan, Khaled Fowler, those are all people or those are other bands?
No, those are all people.
Okay, I had written them
They're
down.
like
They
our
are other
counterparts
bands.
in their
Got
rival
it.
band.
Got it.
Yeah. They're all-
Who is Marwa Britt part of Secular Esoteric?
No, Marwa, Britt, all of these guys are part of Volcanic Vessel.
Oh, they're
So they're
all
like our
part.
counterpart to our
Okay.
rival band.
Okay.
So you got your own bone
Proto Mandor Mega Man. Got it.
Yep. Exactly. So
Got
Volcanic
it.
Vessel, all your rivals are on that band. That entire band has just been talking shit collectively.
Is
I
that
don't know.
manager Tim?
Bunch of chumps.
No, last time you heard of Tim was like off in the Bahamas or something, just like living his best life. Last time you heard, like,
with our money.
Good for
yeah,
him.
maybe.
At least he's not the manager. Like there's one silver lining.
That we know. They could have a surprise manager. Pulls off his cape.
Tim,
Yeah, you're the only one who's just like, who is this guy?
who are you?
What is like Smash Brothers? It's like a new contender has entered. Now comes-
It's a manager. Okay. So we're in the scene. We're starting this up, and we can go and we can talk to other bands. I'm fine with leaving Toy Overdrive as they are. They're going up. They're gonna do their thing. I want
Those
to.
guys bought me food, so I'm happy.
I want to fuck with volcanic
Vessel.
Volcanic Vessel. Alright.
volcanic vessels. Vessel.
What do you want to do?
I'm gonna fuck with their pyrotechnics.
All right, so you walk over to their area. Give me a 2d6 roll to see if you can see where all that stuff is.
So on a 2 1s.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing! You have advantage on
A
the next
2
roll.
1s.
That's
Next
amazing.
roll is at disadvantage.
Next roll will be at disadvantage. All right, that is
Amazing.
amazing. I love that. Great start, guys.
And
And then
you can't.
Doing so well.
Wasn't a part of us last decade, was he? He really was.
I don't know how these
I've never
things
seen
go.
him before. I have no idea who that guy is.
Oh,
I
yeah.
blame this
I know
the
that's
Tigray
me.
guy for bringing him. This Tigray guy brought him on. I'm pretty certain that's what happened.
Yeah, sure enough. And you are clumsy.
Ooh, yep.
So you're walking over there and you're trying to figure out where there's, you just can't figure it out. Like, it's just so many boxes. It's almost like a mirage thing with like the line boxes between them and Toy Overdue in front. You're like, where are the things? Like, you know what it looks like. You know where the cases look like. Because you definitely don't have it because you can't afford it. So you're just looking and looking, and as you're looking, it's taking you forever to like suss out what is happening. We have, we'll have Humza just pop up and be like, "Hey there, Mr. Snow. What are you looking at? Are you trying to see how you become this great?"
I just wanted to scope out the competition before we went on stage.
Oh well, some people do have to do that. You're totally right. It is hard being this good. I'm sure not that you would know, but you know, how about that show? I heard you were going to be doing a bit of Chrysanthemum into Secular Explosion.
No. We were gonna go Amaryllis into Payon into Nova.
Oh, and to Nova. Interesting that you would end on Nova. It's a little
Yes.
bit predictable, don't you think?
No. You have no idea. It's gonna look fantastic with the color scheme I'm going with.
Oh, yes. That like orange into red. Very
Oh
original.
no, that's very passe. It's not orange and red.
Quickly scratches out orange to red in notebook.
Oh no. Well, it's the actual band is alive, I guess. It's seen better days. I mean, there's Bone Daddy who has corpse paint already. Who knows what he looks like under there?
I thought Bone Daddy was dead, honestly.
The world may never know.
Years.
Voodoo brought him back.
I got friends on the
His son Reginald's yelling at a pigeon saying, "No, I kicked you out 10 years ago. Go away. Quit following me."
I'm just looking at the rest of my crew like, oh god. Listen, Hamza. Just good luck. He just like turns around.
All right.
This is so bad.
All right, I won't need it, but goodbye to you too. I'll see you out in the crowd when we're winning. And he turns around and walks back. And
As I walk up to the crew, we're changing the light show.
Great name. Where's your paint? I'm going to start painting the name. We're changing the light.
Changing the light show.
we're changing the light show. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love that. I love that you failed. I don't think anyone failed in the last time. So excited.
So
All right.
good.
And so
They're going away, as LB would say. Forever.
So
I can't put anyone in jail.
I didn't bring my game bag downstairs, and so I had to open this old box, and I found these dice that big. They're so small I had to put them on a piece of tape just so that they didn't just disappear.
Are you gonna like roll them on the tape?
I was gonna roll them, but I'm too OCD, so I had to pick a set that were all matching and whatnot. So I'm good. But I just was like, "What's this piece of tape?" The world's smallest dice. That's what it is.
Or the world's
Oh,
smallest
God.
candies?
Yeah. Nope.
oh man. What is there anything else anyone else would like to do?
I want to go over and talk to Lush Tension.
I
I
love
can't believe you got charged for being a cult, yet they can do this. Whatever
Yeah.
this is.
Well, you
We
see,
should
there's a
call your ex
difference.
up. We should call your ex up.
No, they're just
Isn't she FBI?
look. They're probably just a gimmick band. This is who I am. This is me. Like, I'm not trying to put on a stage performance for anybody or nothing. I'm like, this is who I am deep down in my core. I changed my name legally
I
since the
want to
last
read your
time we
paint
met.
jar and it's stage corpse paint. I was like, it says stage right here.
No, look, it's not a gimmick though. It's whatever.
Just like hands up.
The wheel will
There's no
sort
pyramid
itself.
scheme.
Made by the Gimmick Incorporation. It's like it's made by Gimmick Incorporation.
Well, I mean, it's like
I
finding
thought
a
you had
box.
lead base. What is this?
Don't worry. Yeah, look, that's lead based, clearly. It's to promote people being
You
able to
are
see
the lead
you.
bassist. That's right.
Exactly.
just like really deep breaths to like help calm himself down, but it's just lead fumes. So yeah, he's gonna go over and talk to Lush Tension.
All right. Are you gonna enter the area, or are you just gonna like try to be in the border between your area and their area?
I want to be on the border because I feel like Bone Daddy has developed like a vampire mentality of like, no, you have to invite me into your space. So that way it is not my fault.
And maybe it was from like that restraining order you had that one time.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where it came from. All right, so you go over and you're like, "Hey guys, Abby Hodges, who is like, you're a pretty tall dude, but Abby is like very tall. She is like a solid 6'3" and very well built. And you see her come over, and she's like, she is their guitarist, and you see her like with like a Gibson electric guitar just strapped onto her. It's like, oh, hi, Bone Daddy.
Oh. Hey, Abby.
Hello. And it's just like looking at you. It's like, hello. What can I do you for?
Oh, I am not breaking eye contact at all. Like this is one of those like when you see a wild animal and you're like, no, look at them dead in the eyes, so that way if you look away for even a minute, you have shown your weakness. And I'll come up and just be like,
so what you guys got going on here? I just want to say, it looks great. Just like, I know you guys are out there, you're trying really hard. I've been at this game for a while. This is who I am now. You guys still seem like you got a chance. You could either change who you are person. No, you just seem like you just seem like this is you. You have not blinked once during this whole conversation. Anyways, what if I were to tell you that instead of a great wheel, we lived on a large sphere? It's like a wheel, but it's made of other spheres.
We do live on a sphere, Bone Daddy.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been trying to get people to believe in for quite some time now. So it seems like you're already on the right track. Now, what are our fellow contestants, those volcanic vessels, they're flat earthers. I don't know if you've heard it or not.
That is very interesting. No, I have not heard that. And as you're talking to her, this pigeon that Reginald has been yelling at finally decides to fly away right next to you guys. And then she is looking at you, like not blinking, hasn't blinked. One hand shoots out, catches the pigeon, and brings it up to her mouth. And as you're talking about flat earthers, she's just like going for it. She's about to like crunch down on its head.
So the corpse paint that I have on makes me look like, oh, this is just the way that I am, but like covered in sweat. Just like, what the fuck is this? like just letting it happen though. I'm gonna try and play it off as cool.
He's gonna hear Reginald yell out, "Sally, no!" He's come running over with his little legs.
Yep,
to this gigantic lady.
I am just.
Let her out.
I am going to try and watch this. I just like again, like I can't break eye contact and show any sign of weakness. They're just trying to put me on tilt right now.
You're just trying to put you on tilt.
Yeah.
My left eye start bulging out and like, you put Sally down.
Usually you would have advantage on this roll, but because she's literally not even looking away from Bone Daddy, hasn't lost contact, you just make a regular roll.
That's cool. So it's just 1d6 or 2?
It is still 2d6.
2d6. So It is a 3 and a 5, so an 8.
Ooh, all right.
Got to save Sally and help Bone Daddy. This is staring contest.
Oh my gosh.
Am I even in her peripherals?
No.
What is this?
She is very tall. She is very tall.
Yeah.
So is Bone Daddy. And she has not stopped looking at Bone Daddy.
I'm jumping in like crazy. I'm like, fucking put Sally down.
Oh my gosh. What did you
Start
roll?
climbing her or climbing Bone Daddy to get next to him.
So as you're doing this, it brings the like pigeon his head into her mouth. And you're sitting there with her mouth open with this pigeon just like pecking away. And like not biting down, just literally just having it in her mouth, just there, staring at you, mouth wide open, pigeon in mouth. And Reginald doesn't even notice you. Doesn't even notice you. It had zero effect. Your thing. She rolled a 6 and a 5. I'm keeping these dice forever, by the way.
Rusty.
These
I'm
are my
rusty.
dice forever. She also rolled really well in before, so she had an extra die there. So she was just standing there, and she's like,
If you want.
brings out the thing almost like a mic, and it's like, oh, yes. Well, that is a problematic issue in our time where people think that the world is flat. I do think that might be a problem. And she just like spits out a little bit of blood from where the bird has been pecking and brings back the bird into her mouth and is just staring at you.
Here, I think I got something to help.
And I'll reach into my pocket and I'll pull out a little bit of pancake that I'd stored away because my time as being almost like completely broke has taught me to store food. And I'll be like, here, tilt your head back a little bit. And I'll try and like put some breads into her mouth so that way the bird can eat at the breads rather than like biting the shit out of her.
So she leaves her mouth open, leans down so you can put the pancake into her mouth, and just the same mouth open. You're like, pancake, very hot. You see the pigeon just like eating there.
Great wheel, bless you.
Yes.
Just a turn around and just
Let's go
don't
home,
even like
Eyes wide, just what the fuck did I just see? What the fuck did I just see? What the fuck did I just see?
like just steadily like making my way back to the rest of the band.
You still have Reginald holding onto your back going, she crazy.
When did you get there?
She didn't even see my eye.
I didn't even notice you climb up. How long have you been here?
Yeah, it's Sally. I think it's Sally.
And Tigray and Mr. Snow, you definitely, if you ever look over there, still staring. Abby, still staring at Bone Daddy in Bone Daddy's direction. The pigeon in hand, poking at mouth.
I think she likes him.
Don't look back, Bone Daddy. Don't look back.
Tigray looks up and you notice he's got like gloves on and he's like been picking French fries out of the car, off the floor of the car and stuff, even though it's a piece of crap. He's just like, you guys were like slobbing stuff and he's like, chips, you know, and so he's picking the crumbs and chips out. So he looks over and he looks at you, Mr. Stowe, and he's like, I got a lot going on here. I don't have time.
I got you. I'm gonna go walk around.
Just what the fuck did I just see?
At least she didn't bite down.
Honestly, that would have
Just
been
imagining like she's like gnawing like I was like
And
We need to get a bigger animal than a pigeon.
It's a tooth massage.
Billy, I need a bigger animal than a pigeon for Bone Daddy to put in his mouth.
Wait, what? No, I'm not doing this.
No. Two can play at that game.
All right, wait.
She's half a spear. You're a full spear. You need twice as big of a hand as a pigeon.
Okay, hear me out on this one. The farthest I'm willing to go is that I will keep a series of small snakes in my mouth until we go on, and then I will throw snakes up onto the crowd. It's as far as I'm willing to go.
is that on brand? I think that's on brand.
Billy, snakes. Make sure they're poisonous.
No.
No, not poisonous snakes, please God. Actually,
He's just shaking his
actually,
head the whole
no,
time.
no.
Like,
Poisonous snakes are fine as long as it's non-venomous. Because I don't plan on swallowing or eating any of these snakes anytime soon.
That's not. Ugh.
What is the closest deadly snake we can find in this area? I want 5. Wait. 10. 6. No.
I'm just gonna go. That's what I'm doing for the rest of the scene. I'm going over to Tigray and I'm talking to him about local snakes just to find out.
looks it up on his phone, not realizing what it's for. He's just like, okay, it's a question, and I can't not answer the question now because I don't know. So
I'm gonna go and work on our pyrotechnics.
I have an idea for our pyrotechnics, so don't worry.
I'm not going to spell out whatever our new band name is in fireworks.
No. We have a plan. I doubt you can spell our band name. Anyway.
Oh, snap. Billy will
I
also
don't even know what it is right now.
Billy,
You can't spell what I don't know.
Billy will also be next to you, Bone Daddy, and Tigray sitting like in the car looking for that, so he knows where to go after this. And let's see.
A reptile hut.
And as we do this, you hear in the mega, or actually on the PA system in where you are, you hear, "All right, okay, Toy Overdue, you're up. Good luck to Toy Overdue as they go. Competition is starting. Everyone be ready. Next up will be Secular Esoteric. Be ready. All right." And it's shoo. And you hear the rustling of Toy Overdue starting to head out towards the backstage. Because now you guys actually have a long walk to get there. So you have to leave a little bit early now. So with that, we turn over onto our next scene. A little bit of time has passed. And Tigray, you have found the information you need to know. The closest deadly snake you can find is the pinstripe arrowhead from
Shit.
pinstripe arrowhead. And you looked up. There is a shop about 50 miles away in which sells them for like venom extraction for different medicinal properties. Most well known are different sleeping droughts, mostly because you think that people kind of die, but they come back pretty quickly when they take it. So, and
You're already wearing corpse paint. It's gonna work out, man. Trust me. When have I ever let us rob?
That's like 100 miles round trip unless we got them to deliver some snakes to a public place.
And it's Billy, so you're looking around a 300 mile trip.
And Tigray, you pull up the Google Maps of it, and you see just a huge red stripe in like a 10-mile radius around where you are of just pure bumper to bumper traffic.
and
Are they wild in this area?
And during this talk, Billy is, just sitting there in the seat, and one of his hands goes through the seats because, not a very good car, and the seats are kind of like getting apart. So it goes in between them, and he's like, "Oh no!" And he's like stuck for a little bit. You like try and help him out. You finally pull him out, and in his hand, you see him holding a small, little like maybe 6-inch long, like maybe 2 pencils thick, a little green garden snake that was living in your car. There's a little bit of like a bump in it, like it just ate a large bug or something. So it's thin, there's a large bullet that goes on.
I can make that work.
Can we paint it so it looks dangerous?
No.
And it is just like wiggling around in Billy's hand. It's like, "Oh, here I found a deadly snake, mostly deadly to me because I think I would have died if I stayed in there. So thanks for saving me, guys. But here's a snake if you want it." It's just wiggling in front of your face, Bone
Would
Daddy.
you paint a small
Steady,
little
slow
skull on his
grab.
face?
Oh yeah, I am definitely going to be painting a small tiny skull on this snake's face.
Yes.
I'm like, route McCall's snakes. Delete.
And part of your head is just like, oh, thank God, that would have taken forever. And so with this new scene started, what would you guys like to do now that Toy River Dew has left and Secular Esoteric is getting ready to go up next?
Well, we're painting the new name Snake Tongues onto the car.
I'm gonna rework the pyrotechnics to not include anything I said to Hamza.
Wait, what was the name, Barry?
Snake Tongues.
Okay.
All right. And Bone Daddy, what are you doing?
I'm painting a small skull on the head of a snake while trying to get it to stay still.
Blip.
And as you go
I keep
ahead.
trying to get him to use gloves.
I like you like gloves and do not use lead-based paint. Just
I probably fought that argument for far too long and got nowhere with it. Eventually, I mean, I just constantly want to get a sponge and get it off, but I know better.
I'm debating on whether or not at this point he's like he wears the corpse paint, but like has tattooed his face underneath, and it like so like even if you remove the paint, it's still there. He just wears the paint so that way it like shines under spotlights and stuff.
It's like you still can't get rid of that tan. Anytime you're in sun, you try to avoid it as much as possible.
I know.
But you still tan.
Going
And
for a
it
bleached
bugs
bone
so
look
much.
here.
Oh man. Okay, and so while you guys are doing all of that stuff, you have members of Secular Esoteric just walking around the different bands, and being like, "Oh yes, 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 you're very funny, very, very, very funny," and it's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," and like giving finger guns over to Volcanic Vessel, and then it's like almost like they're making a round before they leave, and they stop by your place, and they're like, "Oh, hello there, not Doug. It is good to see you guys around."
Snake Tongues.
Okay,
I legally changed it. It is not Doug.
Not Doug. Yes, not Doug. It's good to see you guys. How are you? I mean, I like that. I like the look you're going with. Very urban there, Bone Daddy.
I'm trying this thing. It's called Deceased Debutante.
Very modern of you.
It's
Yes,
fashion
and-
fatal.
I'm recording the interaction.
You see,
And I'm not looking up, but like I have little tiny brushes like these that I'm just kind of like working on this snake while like trying to keep it still.
It looks over to you, Mr. Snow, and we have Eleanor Ahmed just being like, "Oh, hello there, Mr. Snow. You seem to be doing very well for yourself. Seem to keep up with this fun bunch."
It's not very hard considering they're very slow.
You are not wrong. As you see Billy like rummaging still in that backseat where his hand plunging, he's like, guys, I think I'm stuck. Guys, I think I'm stuck again.
Oh, you're fine, Billy. Just don't move your hand too much. We can't afford that tetanus shot. Again.
Where's my pig, Billy? Where's my pig?
Um,
You know, I can't sing without my pig.
is this the live one or the dead one?
Both. How am I meant to enter onto stage without my pig
He's just
and
like,
on an empty stomach? Think.
it's like, I will, as soon as I figure out where my phone went, I think it's somewhere down here. So I'm just gonna move my hand very slowly and look for it in here. I'll be fine. It's fine. I'll figure it out.
Let me know if you find another
Just want my
snake.
pigs.
One.
Ow! Oh God!
Yeah.
I'm fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's
Okay.
there's nothing sharp there. It's fine.
We can go to the doctor when we win.
And Vivek Goldsmith will look over and she will see you, Bone Daddy, with your new pet snake and trying to paint it. And she has next to her, she has a parrot on her shoulder. And like not a, maybe like more like a cockatoo, just like an all black cockatoo on her shoulder. It's like, oh, that is very interesting, Bone Daddy. I didn't know you were a lover of animals, or I guess in this case, reptiles.
Everything in the Great Wheel is capable of being loved, and everything here is capable of validation.
He just continues painting on.
I 100% agree. I'm happy to see, Bondari, that you are being very inclusive in your beliefs.
Have one of those portable like magnifying glass things, like how he brings the arm out so he can get a closer look at his painting.
It's
like a little model painter.
It's one of the like head holded ones
so he
that
can
has
bring out multiple ones.
Yeah,
so he can
it's both those items are right there on my painting table. It's so nerddom. I just am like, oh my god.
I'd like to just think that the snake's going to bite him, and he's like, no. Like a little tap on the head with the painting brush. No.
I'll look up and I'll notice this black cockatoo that's sitting on this person's shoulder, and I'll just kind of acknowledge like
that's pretty rare what you got there. I
No.
appreciate that.
I do love Vo. Vo has been with me for several years now. How long has it been, Vo? And in the squawk you hear, you're 8. It's like, oh, 8 years we have been together. Just like,
It's a full-on black bird.
yep, it's a full-on black cockatoo.
It's gonna remind me of Mr. Whiskers.
Yeah, no, when they bring up 8 years ago, it's the mental flashback to me and my FBI wife. Back when we were still happy, and it's one of those like,
I'm very happy for the two of you.
Very happy for the two of you.
Tigray doesn't want to get close to the bird, so he's got the extender stick for his phone, and he's moving the phone up to like get a good shot of the bird, and slides it back down the stick, takes
Mr.
it off.
Snow,
puts it back.
do you have any portable pyrotechnics that we don't need?
I mean, they could scrounge around for a bit.
Because Mr. Whiskers needs a friend, and it's about time we got a bird friend.
No, I'm not killing a bird.
It's sacrificing, not killing.
I thought I wasn't joining a cult.
You're not. It's a
I'm not a
nonprofit.
cult.
God, now I'm done with you.
I'm just a psycho.
We have, and in the scene as you're filming this, in front of you, as you see on the screen pop up, you see Rudra Black stand in front of you. And you know Rudra Black, you've talked. You know she's the pianist of this group. And you see Rudra, she is a medium-sized, taller than you, but very, very well built. As in, you're pretty sure if she really tried, she could be in the Olympics. You're pretty sure. You're like 85% that she could compete in really, like, you know, that the disc throwing. You're pretty sure she could be in that. And she's standing there in front of you with like only a vest on, so you get to see, you know, the gun show, and you see her just standing in front of you, in front of your thing, and it's like, oh, hello there, Tigray. How's the old guitar doing? And she said it with like this disdain in her voice, like that you know exactly. You've heard this a million times from different pianists.
It's it's serviceable. With, you know, I can now plug it in directly with a HDMI cable to my phone, and then he flips the phone open, so now it's like tablet sized, and he pulls up a thing where it's like a turntable, like with little scratching. You could actually DJ off of and he's like, and so, you know, it's serviceable.
It's,
It is such a shame that you left the orchestra scene. I heard you had an interesting setup going. I heard you were going to be playing Concerto Number 5.
Indeed, things occur. I couldn't continue on. It was bad. Like I knew that if I had continued that way, the bad things would happen. And he just withdraws into himself, like, why are you talking? Stop it.
It's really a shame. I was gonna take my friends with me because I was telling them that you make such an interesting choice in the second movement around measure bar 40. You make such an interesting choice in your interpretation. I was saying how odd it was compared to how I played it before when I was practicing in the conservatory in Paris.
Well, I just think if you look at the ratio and the pattern, it lines up better because and he goes into a thing about how notes and how they line up will lead to other things, because if they aren't lined up correctly, and then he talks about Chinese music and how they've got more lines than Western music. It just sort of starts getting deep theory. Numbers and music are combined, sort of thing.
I would like you to roll a 2d6 for me.
Oh goodness! All right, come on, little blue dice, don't fail me. Weird. Double threes. 6.
That's what you that's all that needed to happen there. And so as you're talking about this, you just notice Rudra getting like a little bit more and more like shoulders back, like a little bit bigger, and just like you see a couple of you see the muscles start bulging on the arms as she starts getting more and more just upset about what you're talking about. And just like, it's not like you're directly insulting her. It's almost like you're insulting the piece in her mind. And so so as you're talking, like this is just escalating between you and her, and you're being like very factual, being like the blah, blah, blah. And she's being more like, no, but this is not how this is not how this person meant to write it because of blah, 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 blah. And it's just like techno babble that none of you guys really understand if anyone's listening in. And it just starts getting louder and louder. And she's like, enough. It's like, Kendra, bring me my guitar, or bring me my synthesizer,
and
at the piano stand.
As she's talking, Tigre's mind, it's that sort of horror movie thing where he's getting smaller and she's getting bigger. So he's feeling like, like halfling size at this point. If it was an anime cartoon, it would actually be changing sizes. So
bring me the guitar or the synthesizer. I will show you the correct way to do this. And as this has happened, a little bit of a crowd has started to form near you guys. As you're like, at this point, you're in like the middle of the walkway. She's like, I challenge you, and we will see which one of the two is really the best interpretation.
All right.
And
go.
I was going to say, and she is challenging you to a duel.
All right.
I'm just picturing Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel.
And do we want to go to our first break on this?
Yeah.
Alrighty. It's been a couple hours, so now we can get up, stretch, refill water, do all of that thing.
A couple of hours.
It's been 2 hours so far. So
Really?
You're 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we will be back shortly. Thank you to everybody who has stuck around with us so far. If you are interested in winning a Steam key in chat, just gotta post in chat, and we'll do a giveaway. And if you end up not being not particularly interested in the game key, we will figure out some other donation to do in your honor. So thank you to everybody who has stuck with us so far. We will see you guys in 5 to 10 minutes. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
10 minutes is all.
Four Master Famous Sons.
And we're back. Welcome. everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome.
We did not have anybody call out in chat. That was new, so I don't want to award a game thing to somebody else. So we will hold off on that, and we will just donate some more towards the end. About for not having a giveaway winner for the Steam Link, but
Who followed?
Otakaro, thank you for the follow.
Can I do the thing?
Yes, do it, Greybeard.
Do it. Do it.
Because when Greybeard is on cam and we get a follow, he does this thing.
I take this mallet, which was made by Dr. Gear, and I hit that guy right in the face.
Otakaro still here?
Ooh.
That's it. You got your follower ding.
Thanks, buddy.
Otakaro still here?
I believe so.
Yeah. There he is.
Yeah.
There
Oh, just because this is like my last beer and I'm now a working man. Spendable fucking income. I haven't had this for 18 months, so leave me alone.
Oh,
Expendable income.
welcome.
Ooh. Shout out.
Welcome. And if
Like
you
the
would
only
like
time I
to
have
join,
expendable
if you are interested in joining in our Discord at all, you can link up your Twitch sub to Discord, and you can hop in and chat with these great people on a regular basis.
It's an
Don't.
active, crazy Discord. My God, you walk away for like 10 minutes, you're back, and it's like 31 messages.
I guess you can
Go
say
to
there's
sleep
a
at
fair
night
amount.
and wake up in the morning, and everyone's had a massive conversation without you to say, "Oh, hey, you
Hashtag Australia.
Americans."
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, but let us get into this battle that we left off at. How do we do this, PB?
Absolutely. So performance duels are
Banjos.
where you, the player character and an NPC, go at it in a time trial of wits. So a broad theme is going to be chosen by the players not involved in the duel itself. So Bone Daddy, Barry, and Mr. Snow are all gonna get together and they're gonna choose a broad theme. This broad theme can be like animals, food, places. I think the general rule is if you can think something of a word that starts with an X, you can pick that broad theme.
Doug's names.
It's
You call me Barry and not Reginald. So everyone else got called their in-game name, and I'm like, Barry.
I'm sorry. I was looking at Zoom and you have
Oh yeah.
Sam and Barry.
No, she was referring to the volcanic vessel bandmate Haven Berry.
Exactly.
Right,
That's what I was
heaven.
talking about.
No.
So there, you guys will choose that, and then you guys will also keep tally of every correct answer the NPC and the player give. So even if it's just like tally mark, a check mark, whatever, to make sure they did it correctly, the players, me and you, Tigray, are going to have 5 seconds to give our answer. So it's going to be the alphabet game. So I start with something that starts with A, you go to something B, C, D, E, F, G until we reach the end of the alphabet. Then if we ever reach the end, that is going to be the end of the duel. Otherwise, whoever takes the longest to answer and reaches their 5-second limit, that's the end of the duel. All right?
And do you mind real quick if I actually write the alphabet down? Because I'm truly
go for it.
dyslexic in real life, so
Yeah, go for it.
I would be
A, B,
lost.
G, H, D, C, E, Z.
Exactly.
I have to sing myself a song every time.
I can
Yeah,
say
so
it
do I.
backwards. I learned it in case the cop's like, have you been drinking? No, say the alphabet backwards. Done.
Usually I just have like a picture of the alphabet from Google up there so I could keep track. And so at the end, whenever anyone loses or we reach the end of the alphabet, we will roll 1d6 for every single time we answered something correctly. So if I get A, you get B, and then I fuck up on C, I get 1, you get 1. All right, and then we will roll 1d6 each, and whoever gets the highest tally wins.
And
And
these guys are doing the tally marks of how many pluses or minuses we get.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Okay.
So the moment you get something wrong, that is the end of the duel. So just try to do your best, and we will flip forward to see who goes first. Or
Okay.
in this case, we will be like, I'll go 1-3, you go 4-6, and then you roll a d6, and we see who goes first.
Okay.
All right. So, if whoever wins this duel gets a free epic pass. So, whenever you get an opportunity to make a 2d6 roll, you will get you'll have those 2 extra die to add to your dice pool. Okay.
All right.
All right. So, is everyone ready? Or you guys confer for what theme you think we should
Oh God.
What are you really good at, Greybeard?
Well, I was going to say
Types of weapons.
this is a charity stream for kids. So what if we did we could do like cartoons or something?
Disney movies.
I don't know if Disney movies start with an X though. But let's just say cartoon movies. Leave it at that.
Cartoon slash movies
Yes.
or cartoon movies?
Let's say cartoon / kids movie. Not
Now,
so that,
characters or just movie titles?
Movies.
and I've been up for too long to decide the rules of this one.
Me too.
Chat.
The titles, not the characters.
All right.
There is one Disney.
See, Disney Pixar. Odakara,
Let's do
the
Disney-
newest sub, is like Disney Pixar.
All right, let's do Disney Pixar then, because that is what
Disney
that is what
Pixar
chat has
movie
decided.
titles.
Okay.
All right.
first
I
few
think A
letters.
is like the easiest one.
Well, I got through A through C. Now I'm just like, what starts with D? What's something that starts with a D?
We'll.
That's all right. The letters are all dancing around in my head. I can't think of a thing. So it'll be awesome.
It's gonna be a
So who's rolling to determine who goes first?
yeah, Tigre. So what do you want? 1-3, 4-6.
1-3.
1-3. All right, I'll be 4-6. So
Indoor RJ.
let's have RJ roll a d6. See who goes first.
Cuatro.
All right.
All right. So I will go first, and you guys keep us on track for these 5 seconds. And are you ready, Tigre?
As ready as I'm gonna be.
I know, me too. Same. Oh God, I can't think of anything that starts
And
with
it,
E.
and it can be any kids movies, or does it have to be Disney Pixar? Because that's
That's very small.
I can't.
I'm
yeah.
gonna say kids movies, which includes Disney / Pixar.
Okay.
So it's basically not like if you get to T and you're like Terminator. Like that's I mean like you might show it to a kid, but that's not like a kid's movie.
Kids movie.
Yeah,
Perfect. Perfect. Okay.
Alrighty.
Whew.
That was my favorite kids movie growing up.
RoboCop,
Alright.
the animated series.
So I'm gonna start on A. You're gonna go with B. Okay.
Right.
So all right, starting off and now, Ants.
Batman Lego movie.
Oh, that's a good one. Coco.
Dumbo.
Great. I was hoping I didn't get E because I don't know anything about E's. I don't know.
That's
I
5
have
seconds. X.
Yeah. I have no idea what starts with an E. What starts with an E?
An F kids movie. No, got nothing.
Okay.
Oh,
X.
A G. Oh my God. Go. Nope. Nothing with gopher. Nothing.
Okay.
Seconds.
oh my God. Yeah, it's too early.
5 seconds.
Yes.
H. H is going to be How to Train Your Dragon.
Okay.
Good one. Good
You're on I.
one. Incredibles.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one. J. Oh my God. What starts with J? Jumanji. No, Jungle Book. Jungle Book.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking of.
K. Got nothing.
Mississippi.
Pass. You're on L.
I have nothing.
Okay.
X.
M.
M.
And it has to start with it. Oh, that's the worst. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
X.
Pass.
Yep.
Okay.
N.
N and oh man, I had so many for M. I didn't have any. Oh, are we counting the V? Nightmare Before Christmas.
We won't count the.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nightmare Before Christmas works.
O is there
Yes.
a letter?
Starts with O. My God. Operation Dumbo Drop. Woo,
Okay.
that was up.
Oh, good one.
You're on P.
Pinocchio.
Damn it. Q.
There is no Q. Someone could think of a Q. I bow to the pass.
R.
Ratatouille.
Okay. S.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
T.
Toy Story.
You,
Yeah.
got nothing. Pass.
V.
V. Next.
Okay.
W, Witch Mountain? Is that the title?
Yeah.
Okay. Phew.
I think so.
And because I know
X.
there's Return to Witch Mountain, but I think Witch Mountain was the first one.
And then X. Okay.
I can't think of one thing.
Stars guide to everything.
Y.
I'm stuck on Xanathar now. Y. Pass.
Okay. Z.
Zootopia.
Sounds good.
Good
So
one. Good one.
our
It's
side.
Z.
2, 3, 4.
I couldn't think of an
It's-
X, but I could think of Z. I was like,
It's Z, not Z.
When I heard M, I was like, I wanted to blurt out Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc.
yeah,
Earlier,
Indoor Adventures. Indoor Adventures.
W.
This is not-
Wreck-It Ralph.
oh, good one. Wreck-It Ralph.
So
Hey, Barry, earlier you said you said Americans, and all I could think of is the movie Reign of Fire. At one point, they're like, "Oh, what's that?" And he's like, "Dragons?" He's like, "No, worse, Americans." The best. All right, tally.
all right, so the tally was on our side. We got six successes, 7 fails. And then on the other band side, they got 8 successes and 6 fails.
All right, so I will write. I'll roll 8 times for my 8 successes, and you roll. What was it? 6 times for your
Yes.
6 successes. All right,
And it's 1 die or 2?
X-Wing.
one per roll.
All right.
X-Wings is the X movie. I've never seen it.
6.
I didn't even know it was a movie.
Is X-Men a kids movie? I don't know what's classified as a kids movie.
Is it rated PG? Does it have adorable mascots?
I had Aladdin because that's amazing.
Ants was a
Oh, The Lion King.
Ants was the one I thought of for A. Okay, and so what are we doing? I rolled 6 dice and add them up for.
Yep.
Okay.
300.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, I got 25.
Let's see.
Pulp Fiction.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
Oh snap! Do I have? Let's see. What did I write for the tie? To still alternate. Blah blah.
Roll off.
Just.
Oh, we got a roll
I think it's a roll off.
We have a roll off.
We have a roll off.
I don't know the basic rules for.
Everyone's getting around you as you're like, oh my gosh, they're matching each other. Key for key.
Neither of them are playing it perfect, but that's okay.
I didn't actually.
It's
They're
up to
all-
interpretation anyway.
They're both playing as bad as each other.
All right, so it actually is a rule. I just didn't write it down for whatever reason, but it is. We just go off. I went first, so we'll keep on the same deal. So I'll roll, you roll, I roll, you roll until one of us
Okay.
rolls
Rolls higher.
Yeah, rolls higher than the other
All right.
one. So I roll. My first thing was a 3.
3
Oh, okay.
hours later.
What did you roll?
I also rolled a 3.
All right, next
No,
one. Let's see
I'm
who
gonna
rolls
take a
high.
nap here, guys.
Sudden death.
Shouldn't be hard. Roll the 1.
I rolled a 3.
There you go. All right, so you won the duel.
We win so good.
All right, so
He
the
was the
reward-
original member for sure now.
So, mechanically, you get 2 dice to your dice pool. If you had already a dice in your pool, it only goes up to the max of 2. So
All right. So we are plus 2 die right now.
plus 2 die. All right, and
I'd
so
rather not to die.
and so
To die or not to die.
we have our just this show off, and everyone like this has gotten hype, really hype, because it's gone down to the wire. Like it's just like you guys are like at the height of your performance. You both finish, and you both like you notice that everyone's still cheering. So you both go into a coda, a self improv coda at the end instead of finishing it off. So you guys both start playing, and right as you start, you have a little bit more experience in your DJing and EDM work you've done on the side of doing a little bit of improv work off of something you weren't expecting to when the crowd got really high up. And this more classic pianist in Rudra, not very used to it. So she starts off and she like, it's a little bit wobbly of a transition. She finishes off strong, but it was wobbly enough that people were like, yeah, for Tigray. They really like to remix there at the end. And so the end it's like, yeah, woo, go Tigray.
It's a
Yeah.
button on the thing and it makes the like air horn noise.
And Rudra looks over to her manager and is just like, just take it. Because they know she's a little bit of a hothead. So it's like, just take it before I break it. And so she grabs the piano stand and she breaks it in half
Oh,
with
shit.
her bare hands.
I'll be right back.
And just breaks it with her bare hands and is just like, I still do not agree with you. I do not think that is the way the composer meant to write it. And I will have to write my professors about this and see what they believe. And as the group is just like, trying to calm her down, it's like, just use that energy for the performance. Just, use it for that. Don't do it here. Do it on the stage.
You're a loser.
And this is like the only time anyone ever sees like Tigray in strength. He knows that this is his thing. And then so he's like, he feels like the anime the anime situation. Yeah, like, he's like got a button-up shirt and like maybe a bow tie on, but he knows this is my world kind of thing. But he doesn't say anything, it's inside.
It's like, you will be getting letters about this for sure. And she's just standing there, and you're starting to see like the metal of the pipes of the piano stand start to crunch under her hands.
Okay.
It's just like pure bulging, just like anger out of everything. And they're like ushering her out, like being like, just use it on the stage. And the manager's like very protectively keeping the synth away from her. So she does not break it until she's played her set. And
We
And-
could have taken her if she got aggressive.
a full 3 feet taller than you are, basically.
Yeah, we could have taken her. I don't care.
We standing on each other's shoulders.
And with that, you hear the PA system being like, "All right, 3-minute warning for what's her name? Secular Esoteric. 3-minute warning for Secular Esoteric. Start making your way to the front of the lot and to be escorted onto the stage. Again, Secular Esoteric to the front of the lot." And with that, they walk off. And
When
go
when
ahead.
she turns around, then I'm filming. Filming her walk away. I wouldn't have dared bring it out when she was staring me down, but now she's walking away. I'm like,
See her, like they get her to drop one of the halves of the piano bench, and you just see it like the U of just like, and you're just like, and like in your head you're like, oh my gosh, that was a really nice piano bench. I've seen that bench. I've used that one before. And you're like, I know that the components that the metal is made out of is a very strong steel that's coated a little bit with chromium.
it's like a titanium golf club kind of thing.
And you're like, for her to have bent that means she would have had to do this much force to it. And like in your head, you're just like, it's almost like you're freaking yourself out. Like, she is very strong. That is very concerning. That could have been really bad for me.
As you're working that out, Reginald's going to be like, yeah, walk away, loser.
Of course.
Do me a favor and roll a 2d6.
Really? We could have just let her ignore me. Oh, that's 6 and a 3, so a 9.
She rolled a 10. Twice. She gets advantage.
So the camera as he starts
pointing at the Tigre and be like, he said it.
And
I was filming him, and now the camera's shaking. Like,
you don't even
idiot.
It's so roll a 2d6 for me, Bone Daddy.
Okay.
Let's see.
I got a 7.
You notice. What was it?
A 7.
You're muted.
A 7? You're muted.
It was a 7. You did read my lips correctly.
A 7. So I'd say that's high enough. You notice at the last second, you see what does she have on her? What is she? This is Rudra, right?
Gigantic is what she is.
Giant woman.
You have a very... What would she throw? Oh, I know what you would throw. You only notice it last second. As without even like noticing, it was so quick. She just turns around and chucks a bottle, like a small little bottle, straight at Reginald's head. And Reginald doesn't have, or just reacts fast enough to like look around, and it hits you right in the head at a very like fast pace. Do me a favor and roll another 2d6.
Okay.
Could I?
Barry. Reginald, please roll me another 2d6.
9 again.
9 again. Let's see. That's a pretty good pass.
I rolled a 3.
You rolled a 3?
Yes.
So this hits Reginald in the head, and you managed to like stay up. It hit you so hard that if you wouldn't have passed that and rolled so high, you probably would have fallen to the ground. But Bone Daddy, as it hits Reginald in the head, it hits him so hard, and he's like he doesn't absorb much of it. It pings straight off, and it hits your little garden snake in the head as you're painting him. So it just like his head moves and the brush stays on there. Just a big streak goes across your meticulous painting.
I like to think that Reginald was stink-eyeing and headbutts the glass. Which is kind of why it went off instead of just hitting and falling to the ground.
Oh, man.
I am going to start work on the other side of the snake now to try and make it symmetrical. Like it was totally on purpose.
Got racing stripes now.
Oh yeah, he's gonna go fast for a snake.
Security!
I mean, we all know that the red ones go faster, but like we can at least put a little bit on the side for this
You
guy.
need hot rod flames on that snake.
And Reginald, you will now have a bump slowly forming in the middle of your head as you look down to the ground, Tigre, with your camera, and you see that what you threw was a bottle of aspirin straight at his head. So just like
I'm
a
gonna
small
take
little
some.
pill bottle just straight in your
I want
face.
and I want to ask Bone Daddy if he can paint a third eye on my forehead. Do we have
Just one
non-lead
thing at a
paint?
time, man. Just one thing at a time.
And I'm still
Do we
like,
have non-lead paint first?
No, don't be ridiculous. They don't even make that.
Just-
But I'm not
Look,
a lead
I
based. I'm not a lead based.
Look,
You know that in the rival team, that Marwa, Bone Daddy, your rival, Marwa does a similar face paint sort of thing. But hers is more colorful, a little bit more.
Safe.
It is safe. You have seen the bottles, and you see that does say non-toxic on there. And you also know that the that it's all different colors. She goes with more of like a lively color instead of this more gaunt look that Bone Daddy goes for.
We should steal hers. But we have two clumsy people on an accident-prone person.
I would never sacrifice my artistic integrity.
I would.
You would sacrifice his artistic integrity.
Pretty much
yes,
straight
probably
up.
multiple times.
So
Steal that.
with that, you hear, all right, okay, secular esoteric, you are up. Lush tension, get ready, get ready. You have 10 minutes before you are on. 10 minutes before lush tension, you are on. And you see a little bit of movement from lush tension that is just over there, the creepazoids. Abby is no longer looking at you, but definitely
She's been looking this entire time.
entire time.
The pigeon's still in the mouth.
She is now not in the mouth, but definitely in the hand. Every once in a while, you'll see her raise it and then raise her other hand to grab something and just keeps on going.
You sure you still don't have your ex in your phone so we can call up the FBI saying Sally's been kidnapped?
No.
The pigeon has been kidnapped.
Why are you so hung
should
up on
get
my
the-
ex, man? Just gotta let it go.
We need the FBI, man.
No, we don't. The
Can't
last
believe
thing
you
we
fell
need is
for
the
that.
FBI.
We don't need the FBI.
I'm just throwing that
I
out
can't
there
believe
right now,
you
man.
fell for that.
Look, the last
can
thing
file
I
a-
need is the FBI being on my tail again. I'm done with that. I put that behind me. It's strictly a nonprofit organization now. We're doing it on the clean.
I've already filed a complaint with PETA.
Just
Which
one of those
bird
like
or the
looks up
snake?
from painting snake.
About them, right?
Pigeon, not snake.
All right, cool.
Just call it
Snake
Sally? Not pigeon.
Sally's dead.
She was my backup singer when you guys left me.
Oh my gosh. She was your backup singer. Oh my gosh. So, what would you guys like to do as your new scene begins?
Repaint the car to shallow fanatical cushions.
Wait, what?
Shallow fanatical cushions.
All right.
I'm gonna go see if Billy's okay. Like, I've gotten to the point where I'm content with the snake, but like,
Billy's got to get me my pigs.
Yeah,
seems
Billy's
like-
hurt.
like-
You gotta go check him out.
I understand that it's one of those things where it's like you want your pig, but like, I'm still a
don't
little
care.
shook up over the events with our last band manager where I lost all of my money. And
I'm pretty
so-
certain we didn't sign a contract with Billy to avoid that whole situation.
Yeah, which is why like I want to take care of him. Like, look, if we're going to get him into this band and break him the way that suits us, we need to Stockholm syndrome him a little bit and show that we care. And so I'll be the good cop, you can be bad cop, but I'm going to go over and make sure that Billy is doing at least moderately well, or at least like make sure he can get to a medical tent.
By the way, I figured out why Tigray doesn't have any money. It's all invested in his EDM bands right now. He has no liquidation available at all. He's stretched to the max.
Mm-hmm.
I like
I
it.
dig it.
I like it. So you're checking
Nice.
your stocks on your apps in the middle of getting everything ready.
Yeah.
So if you go over and see Billy, Billy is still aware we last left him. Hand stuck down the car. He's like, hey guys, and you see a little bit of illumination from around his arm, from what you can only assume is his phone, and you also hear a faint buzzing noise from down there. Also, you're like, oh hey guys, things are going great here. We're just a little. Give me a little bit longer on the pig. It's just a little bit of technical difficulty here. Mostly the difficulty in being my hand stuck in the seat, but we're fine. I think I found another pet for you, Bone Daddy, down here. It's a little bitey, darn sucker, and
Perfect.
if you see a little bit of jerk, as if he's trying to hit something or swat something away, you hear a little bit of a squeak. And that's he's just there with his hand stuck there.
I'll take it. Whatever you have, I'll take it.
Okay.
I'm gonna
okay,
help
so
you with your hand. I'm gonna help you get out.
Okay, so
Him, I guess.
I'll let go of the phone, I guess, and I'll just okay. All right, just come here, little buddy.
Look,
Would
we
this
can
be
get you another
considered
phone.
Bone Daddy entering a new area?
No, because I've been in the car before. Like I came
he
from
already-
the car.
Yeah, he probably made the little hole.
Now, if we were to get Billy over to the med tent would be a new area, and then I would have to roll for it. But he seems pretty stuck in the vehicle.
It's like, okay. All right, okay, and I got it. Oh my gosh, it's a lot larger than I thought it was. It's fine. Only a little bit of bitey. Oh, stop it. So how do you want to help Billy out of the
Clearly, I cut off his arm. I
Hello,
will,
Reginald.
I'll kind of like hold the cushions where they are and like press down on where I know some springs are, so that way there's not going to be a risk of like it getting him at all, and just kind of help him get to a point where he can pull his arm out, and then once I get the whatever it is from him, I'll just leave him to his own device. Like, you find your phone again, it's fine.
Okay. And so he goes, and because I think it'll be funny, do me a favor and roll a 2d6. How him trying to
That's a 4.
between 2d6.
Yeah, I got a 3 and a 1.
A big fail.
Sucks to
That
be
is an
Billy.
epic fail. If you have any dice, take one away. If you do not, next roll is at disadvantage.
Writing down disadvantage. What the fuck did he find me with an epic fail?
Let's see.
Reginald's always there with his lighter if you need something cremated. Billy could be gone if you need.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay, all right. So, but he passed. All right, so let's do the whole with epic fail. Oh, it's just it's a decent pass, but between you, so it has to be like a barely pass in between both of you. So what will happen is
Half a rat.
she, because trust me, I considered it. So he gets out, and he does end up getting out. But what happens is that as you are helping him, a part of this spring, like, you weren't anticipating, it's not a great car, you tried to sell it a lot, but no one would buy it. No one was stupid enough.
Yeah.
And this a part of the car seat, a part of the spring just gives out, and it latches out on his hand as he's going by, and between him and the rats, it just leaves a huge, like a concerning gash along the bottom of his arm, and a little bit, he saved most of the damage was onto him, but there's a small cut on the rat, and it's now much more unhappy than it was when it was just being held. So there is like a concerning gash,
Concerning to who, though?
Concerning to me, I'm still trying to be good cop here.
it is like, I would say like a solid inch deep on his arm, bleeding.
You can seal it with paint. Just seal it with your paint, man.
Like, you've probably seen this with your cult members. whenever they did something and it would hurt, this was like something that you would have somebody stitch up.
Yeah,
this is not
I'm gonna take the rat and I'm gonna just kind of like grip it so that way it can't bite me. Like, I don't know what to do with this thing, so I'm gonna take the rat and be like, all right, man, we need to get you to the medical tent. Come on. And then I'm gonna escort him to the medical tent.
Get him a lightning bolt.
T Grace got his some gloves that he pulled from his pocket out, and he's like, you need to put some sanitizer on that. That's
he needs more than sanitizer.
Dangerous.
And he is just like, it is just blood all over the backseat of the car.
Nope,
He is dripping as he walks.
Gonna use my lifeguard. Good attribute.
Go for it.
I'm certified to save lives. When someone is injured or in danger, roll with advantage when helping them. So does that mean that I'm just rolling normally because I have disadvantage from my last roll?
Yep, that's exactly what that means.
Help him out, buddy.
Hey, that's a 7.
A 7? All right. That was just enough. All right. So you, Mr. Snow is going to stop you, Bone Daddy. He's going to be like, wait. I know this. I've fixed this type of thing before. And you will take out your first aid kit, which you've stocked up. Like you have like a really nice first aid kit because you work in pyrotechnics. You kind of need it. But after you met these idiots, you were like, you know what? I think I need more than what I have in here. So you stocked it up with whatever allowance Tigre gave you. And so you take it out and you're like, oh, well, I'm glad I got, this type of stuff. And with it, you disinfect the area, and you also disinfect the area with all of the rat bites all over his hand. There's a couple concerning ones. You might have to go get him and get a rabies shot at a later date. But aside from that, you're able to very quickly, you have some stitches that are like band-aid type thing. You give him a blood thinner so he stops bleeding so much. Like, you are like practice at this, like to the point where it's a little bit worrying, like, what did you do before this? Like, you know how to do
medic.
I was in jail for
Tax
arson.
evasion.
Really? Mr. Snow in jail. Really, RJ? Really?
The universes are crossing, man.
For
It's your first name,
arson,
Conrad.
It's all part of the
I was acquitted.
I wanted to burn the first warehouse down, but no.
So with that, Billy's like, oh, God. And, there's a little bit of a scream when you apply the antiseptic and all of that stuff, because it is a very concerning, large thing. It's like,
don't be a bitch.
oh, God. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Just like that sort of deal.
Listen.
Like,
I was just like, just listen. I'll stitch it on 3. 1, 2.
it's like, it's fine. It's fine. All right.
Listen, if you think this is gonna hurt, the tetanus shot is gonna be like 10 times worse. They get you a needle like that thick, and then they just jab you in the gut.
What?
Yeah.
Just fine, I guess.
Oh no, wait, no, well, the tetanus shot, then the rabies shot, the needle gets like twice as thick.
Can I be knocked out for that? Do you think they'll get, I can get knocked
Well,
out?
you see, the anesthesia plus the drugs might mix kind of weird, so you're gonna have to be conscious for it. I could hit you over the head really, really hard.
That makes yeah, can I go? Yeah. Oh, after this, yeah, you'll knock me out, and we'll go, and they'll give me the thing, and it'll be fine, right? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Snow.
We should probably take him to the medical tent.
I can take him to the medical tent.
Till
the
we
medical
get
tent.
my pig.
Well, give me a second, guys. I still have to get my phone.
I'll fish it out. Maybe there's a pig at the medical tent.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point. That's a very good point, Mr. Snow. Okay, let's go. Let's go see if there's a pig at the medical tent, Bone Daddy.
You betcha. I'll lead.
I get bumped on my head, but I don't get taken to the medical tent. No, the fuck is this?
You probably
Does
should
everyone
go.
care about Billy?
You probably should go to the medical tent.
No.
This
I
is
wanna
why we
steal
don't
the
take
paint.
you. You're gonna say no.
I want to steal the paint so I get my third eye.
If I give Mr. Snow a look like, oh, thank goodness, someone in the band who I can kind of agree with once in a while.
What do you mean? Bone Daddy and Reginald are the most perfect people.
And then I guess as you're trying to dig around in the Mr. Snow's gonna try to get his phone, I'm like getting napkins out of the glove box, and I'm like trying to clean the blood up like with gloves and going from like a bag to put it in.
Seltzer water on fabric.
Life hack. I saw that one.
Oh no, you just pick up some things in jail.
He gets concerned look on his face.
I was acquitted. Come on.
He was really saying he picked up some STDs, but hey.
So as you guys do that, Bone Daddy, as you're walking past with Billy, you'll hear a clapping just as you guys are walking by. And you'll see Marwa standing there on the side, just being like, well, that was outstanding work from you guys. Can't even go 10 minutes without getting somebody hurt somehow stupidly.
Look, Marva, I don't know what kind of game you're playing here, but I'm just gonna let you know something. Eventually, it always comes full circle. Everything that you're doing right now, it's gonna come back and it's gonna bite you in the ass. Trust me. I've been there. I've been in your shoes. You and your square world theory or whatever bullshit it is that you're trying to sell people on. It's not gonna work, so just let it go, man. Just let it go.
That's so 10 years ago, Bone Daddy, so 10 years ago. And she looks over to Billy and says, hey, Billy, which one do you think makes more sense? Going from here, where you're standing, straight down this hallway, or starting here, going through a Lush Tensions place, around where Toy Drive Overdue was, all the way to that point and down the hallway. Which one do you think would be easier?
Billy, I swear to God, if you answer that question, I will put this snake in your mouth while you sleep.
Roll 2d6.
Okay.
The fact you're still carrying the snake is interesting.
Oh, no.
I'm also
I
getting
have disadvantage.
indoors.
I have disadvantage, but
Oh my gosh, he rolled a 4. He rolled.
You lost to Billy.
Oh my gosh. So,
yeah, man.
Billy,
I'll win big later. It's fine.
right over his head. Right over his head.
It's not looking promising for not Doug.
Man, I don't
He's
know
like-
how Reginald does it. I just can't. And being mean to people doesn't work out.
He's like, oh, right. Well, actually, T-Ray's always telling me I shouldn't go the long way around. I should just go straight when, the road is straight. I know, crazy. Sometimes you don't know. You might want to stop over there, but apparently that's the wrong way. So, yeah, I think going just straight down the hallway would be fastest and the best way. Right? And he looks at you, and it completely does not pick up on any of the animosity on your face. And Marva is just looking at you with like such a smug smile on her face. And it's like, I you know what? You are totally right, Billy. It would be the better one. Sometimes going the long round way is just not the way. Gotta kind of come up with some new thoughts here.
Look,
I'm also getting over the fact that Bone Daddy said I've been in your situation before and got bit in the ass.
it'll be fine.
Is that your ex?
No. Look, we're getting
Snooze,
into
brother.
semantics here about an ideology versus about a physicality and a directive location. It makes sense to go direct from point A to point B. in the physical, but in the metaphysical, that's when it starts getting all sorts of curvy. And as long as you just keep following that curve, you're gonna keep winding back where you started. You're gonna follow that great wheel, man.
Oh yeah, it seemed to work out for you, right? Started off at this world competition, did great. Started started a great religion. And then what happened again? You'll have to remind me what happened. Why did you stop?
Oh, because I was found to be fraudulent with all of the money that I was receiving through the cult.
And who found you out? Who was the person who
I don't really see why that matters.
Oh man, I seem to remember a Mrs. Bone Daddy.
I remember a Mrs. Not Doug.
You know, full circle, eh? Full circle. And now you're back here, and we'll see how that works out for you.
And you want to know what? This time, something happens. I learned my lesson. Don't pick up groupies. And I hope you learn the same thing. And I'll wander off. I won't wander. I mean, I'm still escorting Billy to the medical tent.
Just turn.
Arm full of dried blood. It's like, well, good luck with that. Try not to pick up any more FBI agents. And
She was undercover.
and you guys make your way to the medical tent. The medical tent will be past the lot, out the hallway, into one of the doors. And as you're walking by, you walk by one of the PAs and you hear a 5-minute warning, 5-minute warning. Get ready, lush tension. You will be up next. You will be up next. And lush tension, you are up next. And you go off into the medical tent, or in this case, it's just a room separate. So like what you always see in video games, what people think a medical room looks like. And you go in there, and there's a few gurneys around and a couple of EMTs. And when you walk in there,
So my
where do you
bad
go
attribute
to first?
kicks in.
Yeah, where do you go to first in this room?
Well, clearly, I'm going to go to. Like, is there like a medical? Is there medical staff currently here?
Yeah, there's a few EMTs on standby. Yeah.
Thank you, Jordan, for the sub. You're great.
Hey.
I'm really happy. So yeah, I'll go over and talk to medical staff, but I really want to make sure that the medical staff is near, like, if they have like any syringes or like anything else that looks harmful or dangerous, I want to be like approaching that person.
Yeah, there's a guy who's putting away a couple of medical supplies, like packing them from his pack there. There's a couple syringes there. And as you're approaching him to be like, hey, can you know, here's my buddy, can you help him out? And the other guys are, you know, starting to notice this man with dried blood all over his forearm. I would like you to roll. What is it? What is it exactly?
You said flip a coin, but we can do highs or lows.
Yeah, whichever one is easiest for you.
I'm gonna do the lows because I've been rolling low this entire time, so I'm counting on my luck. That's a 1.
Hey.
So nothing breaks.
So,
Hey, real quick.
Uh-huh.
Can I do the thing for
Yes.
go for
Do
it.
the thing
go
for Jordan.
Do
Because
it,
Jordan,
do it.
when we get subs or new follows, Graybeard does a thing.
So Dr. Gear made me this mall here, and when we get new followers, this guy gets hit in the face.
Hey. And coincidentally, that is the same sound you hear, Bone Daddy, as you trip and you hit this metal tray straight head on, causing everything on that tray to then flip. Somehow you manage to also get some stuff to hit this EMT who was organizing all of that. Thank you very much. And he is somehow, some way stabbed by these things that are just like, that were covered. Somehow it came off in the process of you hitting it. I think your forehead pinched it off as the force flung it off, stabbed him in the gut as he was falling forward, but then you hit him back. And it's just a whole sequence of events that was very messy. And honestly, it's impressive how messy it was. And you end up breaking several syringes, a couple of vials with some sort of liquid inside of them, and stabbing this EMT in the stomach with a syringe, all in one fell swoop.
So like have I split the skin on my head open? Mostly
You did roll a 1.
Yes.
So
but
yes.
I called the 1 as the success. So it was
That's true.
yeah. So it was one of those things where I'm more curious, like, do I have blood coming down my face? Like I'm wearing I'm wearing like the corpse paint. So now do I have like realistic looking blood that's also on my face as well?
You know what? I won't even make you roll for it. Yeah, you do.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. So I have this rat. I have blood on my corpse paint and just
The snake.
yeah, and a snake, and I need to go get his phone. He just steadily exit scene, just holding these two creatures.
And, then
And
it's
the snake has like the corpse paint makeup on it as well still. And there's the rat that's just
With
like
racing stripes.
the rat's just trying to like move and get out, and I'm just like trying to hold on to it, so it's just I need to go get his phone. Just leaves.
and Billy's like, yeah, okay. And as you're walking off, you hear Billy be like, hey, as the EMTs start like being like, what happened to you? Are you okay? It's like, yeah, it's fine. Mr. Snow took care of me. Which is very ominous when you say it without context. Yeah, Mr. Snow took care of me. Would you guys happen to have like a pig around here? Are the last things you hear as you walk away. And you walk straight past. And while that was happening, what was up with you guys over in the lot?
I want to steal paint.
Oh, yeah.
You want to steal
Oh.
me? What did you want to do?
And what are you
I was cleaning the blood. It
Cleaning
was
the
all
blood.
on over the car. Yeah. What was?
Oh, he was fishing out Billy's phone from the seat.
Oh, right. Because I made Billy's hand. As you put it in there, roll 2d6. You don't have anything for perception, right?
3 and 5 is 8.
8. Hey, that's good. So, you go in and you find out that it's not really that. It's like you're trying to figure out how he got his hand stuck down here. Because you put your hand down and you pick it up like pretty fine as you like very carefully like stick your hand down and pick it back up because you're thinking like, oh, maybe it's like one of those finger trap things that when you put it in and you take it out, that's where the real trap is. You're thinking it's like one of those things. But like the farther you put in your hand, that never happens. You just put it down and pick it up and put it down, and then you like reach down and you get the phone. And you hear a little bit more squeaking down there, which is a little bit concerning, but not really your problem. And you pick up the phone, and you're like, how do I? And as you're picking up the phone, you do it like horizontally, and your hand gets stuck a little bit, but then you like rotate it around, and then you take it out that way, and you're like, could he have just rotated his hand the entire time? Oh, Billy, what do we pay you for?
We don't pay him.
Yes.
We pay
Yeah, what you pay
him because we always know that he won't be the one to eat the last cookie out of the jar. He just can't get his hand out of it.
Oh, he has his hand stuck in the jar. He's like, look, guys.
I just wanted a cookie.
Like, just open your hand, Billy. Just open it. It'll come out. It's like, but then I'll drop the cookie. Billy, guys. Oh my God. And so that's what has been happening back here. And the blood, it's going to take you like a full round if you want to clean up all of the blood, Tigray.
I can't not clean up all the blood. It's the OCD thing. So, because I can't get back in this vehicle if there's blood. So, T Gray's out for the round. That's fine.
And Reginald, what are you doing during this time?
gonna try and steal the non-lead based paint because I'm not an idiot.
All right. Then, because you're not an idiot. All right, go for it. Try to roll me 2d6 to see how sneaky you are getting over there.
8.
8. And let's see, you're a clumsy, right?
Yeah,
You're not clumsy? Yeah, you are clumsy.
You are
we got
clumsy?
two clumsy. Yeah,
I thought Snow was the other clumsy one.
That's why. Wait.
yeah. Snow is the other clumsy one.
Yep, they're both.
Bone Daddy's accident prone.
Oh.
It's whenever we try and do acrobatic or dexterous stuff, we have a chance of failing. He just fails whenever he enters an area.
I mean, sometimes it's a win, depending on how you look at it. Great
It's
wheel
true.
solves all.
All full circle, man.
Full circle. Everything comes full circle.
Did you roll that with disadvantage then, Barry?
Nope.
Roll it with disadvantage for me. 5?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see how observant these guys are. Oh, they're observant. All right. Don't even have to roll for the rest of them. That was a 9.
I don't like using real dice. I much prefer roll 20.
So as you guys as you start sneaking by, you get in and you start like you're pretty small, and so you're like trying to use these boxes. You're sneaking in, you're sneaking through, and Tigre, can you roll 2d6 for me?
Sure.
I saw someone else had to roll 2d6. I got hit in the head by an aspirin bottle.
Well, that was a little bit preemptive.
I'm all with the doubles today. Double twos, so 4.
All right. Okay. Good to know. And can you do a 2d6 at a disadvantage for me, RJ?
2d6. So for this, I do 4.
4 at a disadvantage. 4. All right. Sounds good. All right. Good to know. So,
So if I get caught, I'm going to be pretending to be walking around, scratching, stretching, like, how did I end up here?
and as you're walking by, you get like pretty far in, and you're closing in on Marwa's, like, she's actively painting her face, and you know she's actively painting her face because you can see her as you're sneaking by. And it's really strange because, like, it's almost like she's looking at you as she's doing it, like just head tracking everywhere you're going. But you're totally sure. You're Reginald. Of course you're sneaking by. And as you get closer and closer, and she just looks at you as you're doing this, or at least you think she's just like incidentally turning her head as she's painting in the same direction you are. And she lets you get closer and closer until she's like, "Hello, Reginald.
Oh,
Are you here?"
how'd I get here? Oh, I thought I was still back on my... Oh, a bit lightheaded since I got hit by... Can I have some paint?
You would like some paint? That's what you said? Or what? Is Bone Daddy finally giving up on his mixing of lead and paint? Everyone knows his secret. He does it. He does it himself.
He has lead, he doesn't have paint. I'm here for paint.
For Bone Daddy.
For me.
For you. And what would you possibly need face paint for?
To help your guys' chances of winning, because you need all the help you can get.
I'm sure you have that phrase mixed up there. Well, I'll look past it. Because I'm curious as to what you're going to paint.
An eyeball. Noggin.
And she looks at you. She's tall, so but she is sitting. So
Let me stink eye her. She gonna look at my face. I'm gonna stink eye her with my third eye.
Stink eye her. All right. And what are you trying to do with the stink eye?
Intimidate her into giving me pain.
All right. Go for it.
Come on, stink eye. Oh, it's not looking good, team. It is. Oh, a 7.
Oh.
Started off as a 2. It started off as a 2.
Started off as a 2. All right. Roll 1d6 for me and tell me what you get. That's unlucky.
3.
That's very
I can't say that's unlucky. It's like, oh, looks like I rolled a 6.
I did roll a 6. That's unlucky.
Shit.
So
We're
the
a
stink
bit
eye,
rusty, team.
the stink eye doesn't necessarily work. But she is curious, and she's like, I will let you have this face paint if you let me paint the eye on you.
No, I'm not an idiot.
Oh, well.
I do not trust you one bit. Because last time, Bone Daddy let me do that to him. He did not look like Bone Daddy.
Oh, well, I'm sure you were just trying to make him look better.
No, I was just being a dick.
Oh, well, you know.
And that's what I drew.
It's not hard to make a fool of Bone Daddy. He does a good enough job. I mean, have you looked at his face? He goes out in public like that.
You just
Better
look
than
over and you
yours,
see
and I'm
Bone.
going to do finger guns and walk away.
I was gonna say, like, at that part, you would look like camera pans over, and there's just Bone Daddy with a rat and a snake, and the snake's like trying to get at the rat. Just no. Like...
And I would like T grade. Do me a favor and roll 2d6 at advantage for me.
At advantage. All right.
Are you putting the rat and the snake in your mouth?
See, I hadn't thought
9.
that far ahead, but we'll work through it.
5, so 9.
9. All right. So as you're cleaning this up, you start hearing the sounds of the PA go saying, all right, Lush Tension, you are up. Lush Tension, you are up. And as you hear that, you go to check the time to see how long it is until you have to go up. And instead of checking your phone, you take off your latex gloves and you go into your pocket to take out your watch and look at it. And not there.
Oh, mother hugger.
Not again.
Who got my watch this time?
It's inside the rat.
Oh, yeah,
It's a rat.
exactly. Okay.
And with that, Bone Daddy, you're making your way back up the hall, and behind you, Lush Tension is walking out, and you have a couple of members of the other two bands that have, well, the first band that already performed. You have a couple of them just scattered about as you walk back. And with that, we start our next scene. And you hear the voice say, all right, Lush Tension up, volcanic vessel, get ready, 10-minute warning, volcanic vessel. And with that, the new scene, what would you guys like to do?
I just
Reminisce back to 10 years ago where shit was going our way.
I'd like to say that you said that about the watch, and my blood pressure actually rose. I can feel it in my head. Oh my God.
This happened 10 years ago, and this is when Mr. Whiskers was used, and we don't have a Mr. Whiskers.
So for folks out there, my character's superstitious, and he can't go on without the watch. So now it's the wrench in the works.
It is a disadvantage. For mechanics' sake, superstitious, it is disadvantage on every roll except for finding anything you're doing to actively find the watch. That is when you roll disadvantage on anything but that. Yep. So it is a little bit crippling.
Yeah, I look at Snow and I'll be like, you wouldn't have happened to, my watch, it's a pocket watch and a chain. You seen it anywhere?
I've been looking through this phone. Do you know that Billy has 5 different ringtones for everyone?
I completely believe that. Watch. I must. And I start to look around for said watch.
All right. Do me a favor and roll a 2d6 to see what you find.
Come on.
I've changed his autocorrect, so every time he types in Billy, he types in butt.
He was the original member.
and now I even though the watch is the most important thing, the OCD thing comes in, and I'm like, I take the phone and start fixing his autocorrect for him, changing the settings. And the whole time I'm sweating because I'm like, must find watch. Gotta find the watch.
Can I help Tigray find that watch?
Yeah, absolutely. Roll 2d6. What did you get, Tigre?
5.
5?
Yep.
I got 10.
Oh.
Ooh, we got
Nice.
So, with a 10, is something fancy happening on a 10? Look at me.
Doesn't he get an extra dice?
Yeah, you do get an extra dice for rolling a 10.
Yeah.
So add one to your die pool up to 2. All right. So, between you two, you are looking, and Tigre, you're just a little bit distracted from autocorrect looking. But you, Mr. Snow, you're kind of used to this. People would think that they would be able to take your stuff and take your roommate's stuff. And you're used to looking for the small little details to see which one of those chumps was unlucky enough to be stupid enough to do it. So you're looking around and you see there's a lot of blood on the ground, much to the chagrin of Tigre, and he's been actively trying to clean it up. And you see that somewhere where he already cleaned, there's a bit of red there. And you're not really used to seeing red. Bone Daddy doesn't use colors. And Reginald doesn't like the color red on Tuesdays. And today's a Tuesday. So you're just like, why is there red paint? And like, you know it's red because it hasn't done that crusty dried thing. And it's just that nice bright red. And so you go over to it and you look at it and you rub it a little bit and you go like that, you inspect it, you look at it and you're like, this is not a regular red. I know this red. This red is what you use to make the colors pop a little bit more and for the smoke to turn into a color during pyrotechnics. This is someone who does pyrotechnics. And you grab it, you...
Gunpowder.
That's lead.
That's lead. That's totally...
I'd recognize the taste of mercury anywhere.
Only one person is stupid enough to use lead in their things.
Only one person is
Daddy.
stupid enough to make a 4-to-3 ratio.
And
Who does that?
who does that? And you're like, what's your chagrin? It's not human, Humza. As much as you would love to go over and be like, you idiot. It was actually the only other person you know who does pyrotechnics in their show. And they are from Secular Esoteric. It would be... no, not them. It would be Arif Parks. You know that they also do pyrotechnics. And now that you think back to when you've seen their show, you thought something was a little bit off. And now you know why. 4-to-3 ratio. Dumb.
Stupid.
Amateurs.
So
Amateur.
Amateur. So you know that someone, most likely, this person has been in your area at some point. They were here. Or at some point, they left this mark right behind where Tigre was working.
Okay, Tigre, I think I know where your watch is.
You do? Wait, and he almost hugs you, and then he thinks about it, and
Yes,
Hey.
I'm slightly dirty. It's fine. It is those succulent suckers over there who took it. That insult was better in my head.
you mean secular esoteric? Wait.
Yes.
Why would they take my phone?
Your watch.
Sabotage.
Oh, my watch. Sorry. Yeah. Wait. Well, where's Reginald? He usually handles this kind of thing.
Turns, looks.
I'm back at the car painting our new name. Selfish, lackadaisical vegetables. I love this random word generator. It's amazing.
Le saboteur.
See, third eye blind was written on there and then quickly crossed out.
Wait, no.
Because I didn't get my paint.
Missed it. Selfish what?
Lackadaisical vegetables.
What would you like to do?
I look at Mr. Snow like, should we get Reginald and go confront them?
Yes. Or
Bone Daddy's coming back, right?
Yeah. At
You
this
could
point, you
say
have got
we're
him back.
getting the band back together.
You are, in fact,
There's
getting
no
the best.
time for chuckling.
Okay.
All right, yeah, Bone Daddy, you are entering the lot as you see Tigre very animatedly talking. His OCD, his energy that you always know is buzzing under his skin, is like starting to act up a ton. Reginald is painting.
Have
Reggie,
I
they
have blood coming down my face that's kind of like dried up. I have this rat that's just squirming in one hand, and then I have a snake. And I kind of like look around, and I'll just stuff the snake into like the coat pocket that I have on my dilapidated suit.
Oh, thank
To
God.
just, like,
'cause
okay.
On this angle, it doesn't look like you're going
I
to
know,
a coat
I
pocket.
realized that, which is why I had to enunciate where I was
There's a
putting this
snake in my boot.
my boot. But then I'll take this other rat, and I'll say, do you know if there was another rat inside of that chair? I think I got a plan, but I need 2 rats.
Do you have any paint that's still like kind of fresh?
What? I mean, it's all fresh. It's all the newest stuff, man. Like
I'm gonna try and get a bit on my paintbrush to do the dot on the eye for lackadaisical,
Okay.
just to make it look more perfect.
And then I want
Testing out my red on a Tuesday. See if-
I am going to be looking in the seat for another rat.
All
Well,
right.
there's one in there. By the way,
But
Tigre,
Yes.
we've got some stuff to do, right?
Gotta find my watch.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. Even though we just spoke about it.
Exactly. He's looking because he was standing there waiting for you to respond. Because normally you're like, boom, explode over the tiniest little.
I was like,
But
oh,
this
a little
is-
bit of red. Let's see. No, it's a Tuesday. Definitely not.
And this is my big thing, and you're just like, bah, whatever.
It's been 10 years, man. This happened 10 years ago, and last time this happened, Mr. Whiskers got covered in glitter, and I had to cremate him. So
every time we go to an
It's
event,
like-
you lose your
it's
watch.
like the Vietnam flashbacks.
It's like clockwork.
Oh my gosh.
This
I
has always
am-
happened.
So concerned.
So concerned. And yeah,
My
Tigre's
black cat got covered in glitter.
Yeah,
Did you know glitter's flammable? You probably should, 'cause you're a pyrotechnic person. So's a cat. Fake cat, though.
like you said, Tigre's buzzing because he has that Energizer bunny kind of thing trait, and so he
Okay.
like looks like he's gonna just have an aneurysm if you don't start moving.
I'll slowly start walking over.
and then I wait.
I'm walking backwards, looking at the painting of the name, going, something just doesn't seem right.
And roll me a 2d6 to see if you can catch one of these rats.
All right.
Bone Dad.
can do it, buddy. Come,
Am I at disadvantage still?
have you rolled at disadvantage before?
Yes.
Well then, no.
But the last time I rolled with disadvantage, I got 2 1s. So am I still at disadvantage?
Oh, that's right. You did roll 2 1s. Let's
I'm
see. that
fine
was a
with it. I'm
disadvantage.
fine with being at disadvantage still.
I want to
Yeah.
see you get extra rats, though.
Yeah, you would be.
8. 3.
Oh,
It
no.
was an 8 or a 3, and the disadvantage brought it down to a 3. So I'm totally okay with that.
Oh, just perpetual epic fails.
Look, Bone Daddy, we established in his backstory that his prime was 10 years ago.
I think everyone's promise, because we've been failing terribly.
It's because
Roll
the
me
rules
a,
have changed.
let's see. 1 to 3, 4 to 6.
1 to 3, 4 to 6.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 3.
3. Ooh. All right. Okay, good to know. All
I
right.
suppose.
So you go in and you try to catch this rat, and you're going for it and you're going for it, and you think you finally have the sucker cornered, and then you finally go in for the kill, and your hand goes through a hole that you didn't know was there, and you're almost shoulder deep in here, and you start looking around, and then you go a little bit farther, and just the tips of your fingers start touching something cold and just smooth, and you're like, what is that? What is it? It feels a little bit familiar.
That's not a rat.
And so you go a little bit more in, and you can't really figure out what it is, and you take out your hand, and you lean back to be like, what just happened? And you don't hear the squeaking anymore, not from in front of you at least. And then, but you do hear squeaking, so you turn, you lean down and you look under the car, and you see a rat tail just scurrying away. And then you look a little bit more down, and as you have your hand on the ground, to see what's happening, you're like, this feels familiar. And you look down under the car, and there's just a big hole there now. It just rusted through, and you're like, and you go in and you feel around, and you're like, yep, there's a hole there too.
That's just great.
Is this the car I got at a discount, which got you fired?
Yeah.
Totally worth what you paid for it.
And so
I reckon me carving a name in there made it even worth more, to be honest.
to each their own.
It's autographed.
So what I want to do, I want to try and use my snake charmer ability on the restless rat that I have to calm him down enough for me to give him tiny little corpse paint as well.
Do it to it. It'll be a straight roll since you have disadvantage.
Okay. That's a 6.
Oh, it's a pass. So, you get this. I'll roll just, see how the rat does.
Come on, little buddy. I'm really counting on you.
He's a little bit unruly. It's not going to come out exactly how you want it to come out.
Oh, I know.
Because he is squirming a little bit too much for you to get many of the finer details. But you can get the general idea onto this guy.
Got it.
On his face. All right. And RJ and Tigray, you head over to Secular Esoteric's area. And Secular Esoteric just performed, and they're still not back. So you enter an empty lot. And when you enter this empty lot, there's not glitter here, but because that's not it's not in fashion anymore. What you see is a lot of mermaid skin, a lot of that shifting colors, and it goes from this blue to this green to a little bit of pink, and there's a lot of that all over the place. Some curtains in certain areas. There's a band. There's it's not so much a trailer, but more a very long bed of something you would see almost at behind an 18-wheeler and stuff like that in the back with a bunch of boxes and stuff like that. You see a portable tent where you think they get dressed and stuff. So you have probably the first half of this. You probably have maybe another 4 or 5 minutes before the band starts coming back. What do you do?
What do you think, Snow? Is it tent?
We'll go split up. I'll take the tent. You take the Eddie over there.
The truck? Oh, okay, okay.
All right, so you guys split up, and when you walk into the tent, Mr. Snow, you see a lot of clothes all over. It's almost blinding. It kind of hurts your eyes a little bit looking in here, just because it's just wherever you look, it's just shifting colors all over the place. It's like looking at a real life kaleidoscope. That's what your life is right now. It's just you walk in, you have your phone out to try and see in the dark, and it's just it's shifting glittery. It's like sun flares in your eyes, and you're just oh, this is gonna be unpleasant. And you see a couple of boxes over in the corner, and a chest, which you think is going to be your best bet if you would like to search those.
Sure. I'll search the chest first.
The chest is actually a mimic.
Pops open the chest, tongue lolls out. Well, fuck.
Oh no, roll for initiative. All right, and what do you roll?
I got an 8.
An 8? Good. So you search in there, you're looking, there's a lot of mermaid skin, more mermaid skin, a couple of things you'd rather not be touching of clothing attire, and then you search the bottom of it, and you hit around and you hear a weak bottom or a false bottom, and so you open it up, you throw everything in the chest out, and you take out this false bottom, and inside you see like a large book, and you're like, well, that's interesting, and you look inside of it, and you see a lot of photos of people, just like random people, like far away photos from like a long lens.
Oh, that's not creepy.
And you see like some of them, like they're not looking at the camera, it's totally all candid, that they have no idea these pictures are taken. And you keep flipping, and there's some numbers and some dates, or at least you think they're dates, some letters, some sequences, and a couple of markings on the, like almost like a not a big X over the photo, but there are just some worrying things on these photos.
I don't like this at all.
And you just see like some more just weird stuff there, a couple of tokens, a couple of just booklets with different names in them and photos of similar lurking people. And that's just what you find at the bottom of this chest.
What did Bone Daddy say? His ex-wife was a FBI agent. Just ask him to call her about this later. Like, tuck it into the back of my pants. If I look at the false bottom of this chest, how big is it? Like, just enough to fit the book, right?
Yeah, basically.
I kind of want to be an asshole. Okay.
Do it.
If I can, could I possibly, like, rig one of those like little devices to billow out smoke as they yank the false bottom out?
You can definitely do that. Just roll
Inner snow is coming out.
Yeah. I'm gonna use my hey. 9. I used the dice that I saved up.
All right. So you are going to you rig it up. It works fine. I'm pretty sure that when somebody does it, it will definitely start billowing out some smoke.
And then I'll just stuff the rest of the clothes back in, shut the trunk, and then make my way over to Grey Tea.
All right, and T Gray, you pop up and you see a whole bunch of boxes, and you're like OCD is a little bit like starting to kick in a little bit, but you're worried for your pocket watch, and your focus is on this pocket watch. So I would like you, because you're on a time limit, you can use Energizer Bunny to search through all of these crates to give you advantage instead of disadvantage. And give me a favor, roll 2d6 at advantage and see what you find in this group of boxes.
Good thing I have advantage. That was 4. Come on. 7.
7. All right, that's a pass. So you're cutting it down close. You're looking in. You go. And under one of the lids of something, you pick it up and you see your pocket watch there. You're like, yes. And you grab this pocket watch and you look and it's fine. And because it was only a 7, you don't notice something else that was on that lid, but it's fine. You get that. There's just a little bit of some smuts on your hand, but like you don't even worry about it. You just clean it off with hand sanitizer. Don't even pay attention to what it is. And you grab it and you exclaim like, "Yes, I got it!" And you go to find RJ or Mr. Snow, who is coming out from the tent, very looking satisfied.
I retrieved it. We should go.
Yeah, we should go.
we should go.
I finally turn up after my slow walk back looking at the new sign.
He's about to step into the area we're in, and we just kind of come past him.
Oh.
As you walk out of the area, just walking past, secular esoteric starts making their way in. So just on the nick of time, you got in and got out of there without anyone noticing. And so you head back to your area, and you hear, okay, 5-minute warning, 5-minute warning for not Doug, 5-minute warning. So you guys have 5 minutes to do whatever you wish. And Billy is going to come running in, and he's going to see you, Reginald. He's like breathing very hard. And he's like, okay, all right. Whew, they gave me some meds, so this wouldn't hurt. A little loopy. But I did get, I couldn't find you a live pig. Well, I did find you a live pig, but it can't be here right now. Traffic is really awful, and we just don't have time for me to run out there. I mean, I could run out there. I just don't think I'll be back in time. And so I did manage to find you just some pork, some cooked pork. And he like sends you like a couple of plates with a bunch of cooked pork on it in different ways.
I want to knock it to the ground because I asked for a full pig. I didn't want it sliced. Just knock it to the ground.
Like, all right, okay. You crazy artist types never know what you're gonna do. And Billy is gonna continue on. He's like, hey, did you guys get my phone out of the car?
No.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna try and get my phone.
Pig?
So,
Wait, are we all there?
yeah. You're all back.
Oh, here. I throw Billy his phone.
Okay. Oh, sweet. Oh man. Whew. That's gonna be a problem. Oh, that's a lot of missed calls. Okay. All right. He just starts going onto it and start like calling everyone, making sure things are okay. Everything's fine. But he's totally available always.
More than just us.
So I was thinking,
Call him.
his mom?
Even his mother wouldn't want to call him. He's useless.
Whoa, that's a little harsh.
I wanted a pig, okay, and he got me pieces of it.
He's bumper to
I'm
bumper
not up
traffic.
for a jigsaw, okay? I don't do jigsaws.
How attached are we to the car?
I fucking hate this thing. It
Cool.
It cost me my job. I had
So-
a pretty sweet gig before this.
I was thinking, as a finale, we blow it up.
Will said explosion also set the roof on fire?
It might, and
Because that is a very key point. We need the roof on fire.
I could probably do something.
That's why we're
about it.
last.
We could probably burn the house down if that's what you mean to do.
Starting with the roof.
Yes, that's how this typically goes when you burn a house down.
I'm assuming that Tigray does not know this plan.
Nope.
Okay.
I think you're just
no
like
way.
in your world texting. Like,
Yeah.
Because I was literally going to come talk to you about this pyrotechnician thing and be like, I want the roof on fire in song 1, house for song 2, and nothing in song 3.
Wait, so
Well, it can still be going during song 3. Just
I think
roof in song 1.
we should really just leave it up to the finale. Like,
We are there for now.
it's more of a statement. I mean, like, we blow the car up during our final set.
We need
It's
the
more
roof.
impactful that
Oh,
way.
yeah. You're new to painstaking, fierce, tawdry minister, but we need the roof on fire in set 1. Trust Bone Daddy's decision.
I turned to Bo Daddy. Is this really your decision? You want this car gone at set 1?
I'm painting a rat and I look over at you.
Huh? Oh, are we still doing that plan?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And he just goes back to painting his rat.
No sense of tension and build up. Fine. I'll have it blow up during set 1.
What is tension and build up? We've never had tension and build up in this band.
I'm not familiar with those musical terms.
Go hard or go home. 150% from day 1.
I just play bass.
T-Gray's taking happy selfies with his watch and posting them.
I should probably go.
I should probably check my microphone because I remember 10 years ago something happened to.
Equipment check.
Equipment check.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
In the Vietnam flashbacks, the microphone got damaged.
Everything seems to check out. You guys use your last minutes setting up everything for the performance. You check all your equipment, make sure everything's fine. Any last minute things you would like to do? Nope.
I mean, I gotta put a snake in my mouth for the opening set, so
What about the rat?
the rat is going in my hat.
Oh, snap.
Yep. And
Make sure you
God,
don't
I
mix
hope
those
it.
two up.
I really hope that it mines well, because otherwise I'm just gonna have this really pissed off rat just like gnawing away at my skull.
Pulling your hair, making you move.
Yeah. A whole Ratatouille situation.
It actually improves your bass playing.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. No. I have the goal. I have the goal. I'm gonna try and get this rat to Ratatouille me.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. That is Bone Daddy's plan.
And so as you
Ratatouille.
guys do all your finishing touches, you hear the all right, okay, not done, come up to front, final performance going on, let's go. And you guys start following this backstage manager as she leads through this maze of hallways, finally to get to the stage. And as you get closer, it's just you hear a muffled sound as you get closer, and then you get finally to the backstage. They open the doors, and it's just like a wall of sound hits you. That is something you haven't experienced ever, but the closest you can ever compare it to is the first time you ever competed in you competed in the finals of Worlds. This is the first time you feel this amount of energy, Mr. Snow. It is the most exhilarating feeling you've ever had, of all this buzz of energy, of people just screaming and chanting, not Doug, 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 not Doug, Doug, not Doug. You just hear a lot of that, and you hear the hype man up front. It's like, are we all ready for not Doug? And you're, whoa! And you guys are just let up. All of your instruments are there, and Billy's there and like screaming at you guys over the crowd. And he's just like, okay, everything's ready. At least I think it is. Good luck. And he goes for a high five with his bad hand.
Oh,
And,
I entered into a new area.
Oh,
No, you didn't.
Go for it.
Stay away from my microphone.
Okay. I was doing Lowe's is good, and I got a 1 again with my own luck, so we're good. Nothing happens.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Except they called our name wrong, which we're cuddly smitten kittens right now, because that's what the internet.
It's fine.
And so you guys head up, and with that, we will enter the performance, the main stage performance. Now, this one, you roll 1d6 each. You can use your extra die you have in your dice pool, but you only roll 1 die 6. You can use your specialty. If you haven't used your good attribute, you can use your good attribute to add an extra die or to get advantage on your rolls. And to start off with, there are 3 songs. You have the prime, you have the hype, and you have your climax. So for the prime is the easiest. You only have to roll, everyone has to roll a 6 to get an unforgettable performance, a 5 to get an amazing performance, a 4 to get a great performance, or 3 for average, and anything below that is a bad performance. But overall, you guys just need a certain level. And I'll tell you what happens after you tell me what your rolls are. So what song do you want your first performance to be?
Well, because we're setting the roof on fire and blowing up the car, we'll go with Fire, Water, Burn by Bloodhound Gang
yeah.
to make it legit. So if you want to do your pyrotechnic skill,
You only get it
Sure.
once per.
we only need to set something on fire, and then I think we're good.
Yep, you only need 1. And give me your scores after you roll your 1 dice.
What's your good skill?
My good skill was lifeguard. I use it to help Billy
Oh, yeah.
out.
We have +2 die to the pool, so
Well, you guys do. I got
Yeah.
Well,
one.
I've still got lucky, and I can stink eye the crowd into staying while the roof is on fire.
Bar the doors, because we're in this for the long haul, bitches.
Because it's not the first time I've stink eyed a full crowd.
And remember, it gets harder as we go on.
I wish I were a fish.
All right. So what did you guys roll for your first one die, or however many you want to use for this first roll?
We're doing the pyro thing first to see how.
I was gonna do the pyro thing in the middle.
Oh, in the middle?
Yeah.
All
Because
right.
it would probably
Okay.
be like at the end of the first set. We're going into the because you said you need the house on fire during the first set. You never said
I need the
when.
roof on fire.
Yeah, you need the roof on fire during the first set. You never specified when during the first set.
Fair enough. I'll stink eye people after you set things on fire because they'll try and run, and we got to stop.
I got a 4.
All right.
I got a 6.
Are we rolling one die for this?
Yep, one
Okay.
die.
5.
Nice.
6.
6.
Nice.
Ooh,
Nice.
21 was that?
Yep, 21. So, you guys. Let's see. You need 6 for that, right? 6 times 4. 6 times. You guys have an amazing performance for your first one. Everyone, the crowd is just like, Doug, Doug, and you guys start playing, and it dies down a little bit, but then you guys start playing, and there's a roar. They're like, whoa, this is the newest music they've heard from you guys. In the first time in basically 10 years that they've heard new sets by you guys. So they're just like losing their minds. Finally, a new song from Not Doug is out. And you guys have an amazing performance, my friends. All right.
So I'm doing the drums through the keytar,
Mhm.
and Mr. Snow is playing the synth or the keyboard.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
All right, and then we got bass and singing. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so
So-
you guys have an amazing performance to start with. All right, and now we're transitioning into the second song. What song are we choosing for the hype song?
Burning down the house.
Burning down the house.
I would like to say that what I have done with this snake in my mouth and this ratatouille rat is that when we announce our second song, I imagine like the lights go dim. And there's just one floodlight from underneath me to really help make my face look elongated and kind of gaunt. And I'll extend my jaw down, and the snake will just kind of spill out and then just kind of still be in my mouth, but there is just a smaller skull painted face snake thing. So it's like the mother alien that has those little ones shoot out.
With like purple black light.
Yeah, with purple blacklight, and it's just like the hat comes off, and there's just this little rat that's pulling at my hair, Ratatouille style. Like,
And we'll have the camera zoom, like you'll hear a collective gasp from the crowd, and then the camera will zoom in on you. The flying drone will zoom in on your mouth, and it'll pop up on the screen behind you, and everyone will go like, yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna try and get some like Tuvan throat singing in while I'm starting up the bass line.
I'm gonna time the explosion with the first bass riff.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Go for it.
doing it. I don't know how I got here with the snake and the rat. I'm glad I didn't have 2 rats.
We're here now.
I
It's
honestly
all
had no
because that
idea.
chick put a pigeon in her mouth. We wanted to one up.
And you remember, you guys still have access to your duets and your solos if you feel like you need more dice for your rolls.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
save it for the for now.
All right. Feel free. Give me your rolls, and we'll see what happens.
Your pyro roll.
Yeah. Here we go. Nice. I got a 6.
Nice.
And I'll stink up people so they don't run out of the fire, which is a 10. And you aren't leaving the fire.
Can I have used my world traveler ability since I'm doing Tuvan throat singing while still like maintaining snake
Yeah.
control and play? All right.
Go for it.
How many dice does that give me? An extra 1?
It gives you advantage or special.
Okay.
Bigger and better.
What did a 10 get me?
A 10 just gets you. Was it a natural 10?
Yeah, for 6 and a 4 for my
A 6
Stink
and a
eye.
4? It just gives you an extra D10, extra die.
Extra D10. I like the sound of that one.
An extra D6.
All right.
Okay,
I got a 7 on mine.
we got this. So I still have lucky, which gives me advantage on a roll check.
Yeah, everything gives you advantage. All right.
And the
And-
first time I do something new.
All right. And Tigre, what did you get?
Uh,
Just a regular die 6, unless you want to
Yeah.
add something fancy to it.
nope. 4, quattro.
4. All right. That is a 27. Nice rolls. I don't remember what that gets you. So that one is... No, that's a climax. Hype, that's 7 times 4. You guys have
Pretty neat.
another amazing performance. The crowd is just loving it. You guys
Now
are
for the
just
best song of all to hit this trilogy.
it's like, whoa, ah, yeah, whoa.
And so currently they think the fire on the ceiling is part of the show.
Until shit starts falling down.
Yeah, basically, everyone's like not even concerned about leaving. They're not even like affected by your intimidation. It's more like they're just entranced by you.
Is this how you started your cult?
It is how I started my cult. Was the last time we had a successful show. I got everyone in the crowd to join.
Was Africa by Toto.
All right, and so we enter in. We finish you're finishing up the second song, and you're entering in your climax. This is the one you want everyone to remember. So
Oh, they were.
feel free to roll whatever you need. If you want to do a duet, if you want to do a solo, remember you have to get collectively 8 to get a on average
So
8.
Who
Get it.
has extra die?
I have
Not.
I still
have
have
one.
who die.
1.
So we have an extra 4 die,
Just throw them all.
and we have the duet and the solo. And I have my lucky trait to reroll one of mine. And we're going with the song "We Didn't Start the Fire."
Yep.
Oh, and Mr. Snow there, you need to get in on a duet, I think. So figure it.
Yeah, I think who has 1?
It was 1 die.
Both Indoor and I have 1 extra,
Okay.
but I still have my lucky good trait where I can re-roll a die roll.
Okay, so I think I'll go with a duet with Bone Daddy.
Yeah.
All right. So the way a duet works, you guys have to either roll a 12 and you both get +2 to your die pool. You get a 10 or 11. You both get to roll 1 die 6, and collectively we'll add that together.
This is really a quartet though, because Bone Daddy's got a snake and a rat.
I'm also pseudo singing while playing. There's a lot. Bone Daddy is a complicated man. This is what he lives for.
Complicated, man.
All right. So I get my 2 standard dice. Yeah.
It's just 1 die. It's
Okay.
one die on this. Both of you get 1.
So 1 die, and then I have my extra die. So as a 9.
At 5.
9, 5. All right, that is enough. You both get the highest one. You both get an extra die to your pool in between both of you. And so with that, you guys are jamming out to your final song, which was what again?
We didn't start the fire.
Start the Fire by
Start
Billy
the Fire.
Joel. It's amazing.
You guys have the sweet bass boom 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 sound, and then the with the piano, and you guys are going at it. Just compliment. It's like a duel off. You know, it's like you're playing Bone Daddy, then the piano goes, and you just like both are going until you're playing together, and then everyone comes in and starts playing "We Didn't Start the Fire"
We didn't start the fire.
all together. And now, do me a favor and start rolling to your final scores.
Okay. 10. The great wheel once again fixes itself.
I'm gonna use my lucky thing and re-roll a die because it was terrible. Okay,
Uh,
that's better. And my spare one.
2d6.
1d6.
Oh,
Unless,
1d6.
unless you're adding.
Plus your extras, so you
Okay.
get to roll 3.
Yeah.
And I got a total of 8 with my extra one.
Ooh. I got original 5 plus 7 extra, so 11? No, 12.
5 and 7 is 12.
I just said it. So 12.
I got 10 with 3 on 3 dice.
Oh, damn. All right. And Bone Daddy?
I got 10 on 2 dice.
All right. So that's 20. That's 20.
I'm
That's...
so listening to our final song right now.
All right. And so as you guys enter this area, the fire is starting to lick up onto the roof. It's starting to catch on fire. The drapes up there are starting to go. It's starting to go all around the entire area. All the banners are going up. It's very cinematic. It's very Phantom of the Opera when it starts all coming on the fire.
Yes.
People are, you hear people in the back start to like scream, and not from like, oh yeah, that's just so good. This is the best performance we've seen in such a long time. Not since you guys performed the last time. You guys are all just going crazy. It's like, ah, woo! And as all of this is happening, everything's licking up. A car goes in the background as the gunpowder finally gets to it and explodes. There's shrapnel coming over behind you guys.
Oh, shit. The shrapnel.
It hits a lot of things around you. A lot of it gets stuck on the walls, but some of it definitely goes out flinging into the
Fucking
crowd.
got hit. I know he did.
If there's a decent piece of shrapnel, I want to walk and climb up on top of it and continue playing. It's like it's meant to happen.
Like a door stuck in the
Yeah,
stage.
just walking stand on
it.
It's not
with
even
the microphone.
It's not even so much the car that falls. It's something from the band. It's like the catwalk that it hit on.
Oh my
top,
god,
and it
yes.
just falls, and it like is hinging very precariously, hanging there and onto the stage. And you start walking up with Reginald as you're singing this piece, and Bone Daddy, the rat's kind of freaking the fuck out, as you would imagine.
He's scratching the shit out of my head, I know.
Yeah, it is just like, it's freaking out. Somehow you're still able to maneuver through it. Somehow it's ratatouilleing your way through this. Tigray, you are just kind of thinking about everything that you've ever done in your life and why you decided to do this again. You're like, why is the wheel doing this to me?
It's
I know.
all regret.
And Mr. Snow, you're just how are you reacting, Mr. Snow, to all of this?
Fuck it.
Is
This is usual for us.
Yeah, this is like your dream. You're seeing all this fire all over the place, and you're like, I've only seen this in my dreams. I can only imagine such a large room full of so much fire, and it's just keeps
people.
engulfing.
Can I substituted like the normal gunpowder for
Natural
The
glycerin.
4-to-3 ratio.
Thermite?
no, I think bromine turns it blue.
Sure.
Cobalt.
Oh yeah, because you didn't want the orange to red, because
I replace it so that instead of like, the red orange fire, it's blue green.
Because you remember
It's Tuesday.
stuff. Yeah, it's basic bitch stuff. You don't do red and orange.
it's basic, especially on a Tuesday with Doug.
Exactly. So you just everything starts going up. It's all blue. People think it's part of the show until it actually starts burning as actual fire and falling down. Things start falling apart inside. Luckily, most of this place is metal, or very unluckily, because everything just starts getting a little bit hot. But you guys are finishing up. The front of the crowd doesn't even notice what else is happening, really, because they're just all freaking out because this is the best thing they've ever heard. And everyone's just like, Doug, carbon dioxide, oxygen's, goodbye, carbon dioxide, hello. And you guys are just giving away, like, it's just like the guy in Mad Max who's the guitar dude on fire. It starts becoming a little bit of that. Your base catches a little bit on fire there, Bone Daddy.
Doof warrior.
Your hat starts catching on fire as you're going up, Reginald. But you don't care. You're singing your heart out. And as you guys keep going, you finish up. The catwalk falls off from where you are, Reginald. I want you to do 2d6 just to see what happens.
brain place immediately.
That is a
With
10.
disadvantage.
Shit,
Because
that's
we're
a
clumsy.
10.
Oh my god.
And a 3.
At
A
least you didn't
3,
get double
you
ones.
the catwalk falls and it falls on a ton of people and you fall with it.
Don't care.
And you fall on. Some people are, obviously perturbed by the fact that they were just crushed by a catwalk, but
Please
the
be
other
10.
ones are
Please
like
be 10.
trying to mosh pit you. It's not really working because some people are freaking out and stuff. But there's like one person, you're light enough. The one person's just like, yeah. And everyone else.
Still good.
And you guys finish up your set. Reginald being mosh pitted by one person, and you look up and it's just like a bunch of fire all over the place, blue fire, things falling, people now screaming, realizing what's happening. If not from the catwalk, the fire all over the place. It's really a beautiful sight if you weren't inside in a death trap.
Do we have a way out? Because we did not think this far.
No! We did not have a way out.
Fucking run!
Billy?
Run!
Billy?
Just people running, Billy's gone, and people have run. People are out of there. Anyone who's in, it's a very slow process. And with that, you would have won if you weren't all going to be in trouble for what just happened.
We are
And-
all going to jail.
Did they not hear the lyrics of our last song? And the fact that since the wheel's been turning, it's just bone dead.
I think you would have gotten away with it if it weren't for the bromine and purposeful blue fire all over the place.
Okay,
It was
okay.
supposed to
If
be
you-
controlled,
Hold-
but something happened.
Hold up. So
If you look at our notes-
if our court hearing takes place on a different day, can I use my snake charmer ability?
You can certainly try on that day.
And I'll stink eye with Lucky.
But as of right now, I
Yes.
think we're getting arrested for probably, like a bunch of manslaughter charges, as well as
of
arson and, the good stuff.
There's a whole bunch of stuff, but you definitely would have won if all that other stuff.
It
hadn't
was
happened.
all Billy. It was all Billy.
It's all Billy. I'd like to make a deal with whoever this is.
Please.
I have some information that you might want to see.
Oh my gosh! And you totally saw the name on the front of the chest was like a Ranveer Vald or something like that, and you're like, you know exactly who it is.
I know exactly who did it. It is this person here. I dropped the bucket for them.
And with that, that is the end of,
Ah.
of band battles and Doug, not Doug, performance.
So,
It's not the end of Not Doug. We had our prison performance battles coming.
We have the Johnny Cash prison tour coming up.
we have our community service tour.
I like to think Tim took all of our money and started this band battles, and we have just destroyed his high-tech stadium. That helps me sleep at night, that it's all Tim's shit we destroyed.
We zoom out on this absolute train wreck of you guys realizing you don't really have a way out. We zoom out of this and then we see another picture of Tim now somewhere in like the Caribbean, just chilling there with a Mai Tai, getting a tan, just like beautiful people around him. He's just living his best life right now.
If we aren't getting out alive, we're the band. We have to keep playing. So let's replay song number 3.
Yeah,
And we
man.
didn't start.
It's all right. This is a Titanic situation. We're going down with this ship.
We'll go back to the start of our set.
A notification comes up on my phone that says, it's like a People article or something that EDM is being replaced by K-pop.
No, my stocks.
Sucks. All my money is gone.
You want to know who's the producer behind the K-pop boom? Fucking Tim.
He was the first backer of BTS. He was like, that's why he's living his best life right now.
Yeah. He backed the
He
K-pop
took
train.
our money.
That's where it's at. Alrighty. I
Fuck
think
Tim.
that is it for this game. But PB, thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
PB.
much for letting us
Yeah.
go back and get back to our old bullshit in band battles.
And
This
cheers
was
RJ for joining Not Doug.
amazing. This is
Thank you.
And setting the roof on
fantastic.
fire and getting us all killed / arrested.
We got only a little arrested. There's a plea bargain.
We could be killed.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can pull a Juan Gabriel apparently and just fake your own death.
Just die in the fire.
Not Doug.
I tattooed my
not
face,
Doug.
so I'm kind of in a stickler. But you guys should be fine.
Not Doug.
But we had a donor during the stream, so JD Lady, thank you for donating to the Extra Life stream. Graybeard, if you want to do the notification ding.
All right, Jade Lade, just for you.
Yay! We did it.
Thank you.
No problem. So we are going to take a quick little break, and then we are going to come back, and then I am going to be DMing once again from 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time as we go through the streets of Ravnica, a setting that I am very excited
2
for.
a.m.
I am very,
to
very,
8
very
a.m.
excited for. But that is it for me. PB, do you when can we expect this on DM's Guild? When can we expect to find? If it's ETA question for more playtesting, we will gladly continue to be your playtesters.
This will definitely, probably at the beginning sometime next year.
Okay.
Probably around January, February. You can expect it on the
Woo!
Guild for your fun.
I am.
What a way to start
down.
the new year off.
So we will see you guys very shortly, but until then, don't go anywhere, and thank you for all of your support in helping make a difference for these kids. All right, everybody, we will see you soon.
Boy.